Futures back in positive territory once again this morning, pointing to a bit of a higher open coming after that impressive rally back from the lows we saw early on yesterday. Interest rates back on the rise as well. We'll have a look at the U.S. 10-year once again this morning. Started the day 1.81 yesterday, coming off 1.51 to end December and wrap up 2021. So everyone has higher interest rates on the mind once again. We got comments from Goldman Sachs over the weekend. We got comments from Jamie Dimon over at JPM yesterday with regards to how many interest rate hikes they believe are coming this year, both suggesting 4, but Jamie Dimon a little bit more positive than Goldman Sachs was as far as overall economic growth. Number of things to talk about in the pre-market. This TSRI, pretty impressive so far. Under 1 million on the free float for that one, so going to be an exciting trade today. Tesla back in positive territory. Record Chinese numbers once again coming out this morning for Tesla. And we'll talk about Intel here. Chip makers strong right across the board, but Intel picking up Micron's former CFO, making a move back to the upside as well. It's Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. And we'll get the board up here in a second, but we'll have a look at some positive numbers. There we go. Now we can do it. Positive numbers for U.S. equities. As mentioned there, the futures all back to the upside. 0.2 for the S&P, 0.12 for the Dow, the NASDAQ 0.3 in positive territory. Crude oil making a bit of a move this morning as well. I saw XOM with a bit of a headline there, trading higher as well. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum trying to bounce after. Yeah, not a good start for 2022 for cryptocurrencies, but higher this morning. So we'll see what happens as we go. Good morning, guys. Pretty exciting morning shaping up here so far. Coming off that rally back from the lows yesterday, we saw things pretty ugly to start yesterday, but not the way we wrapped up the day.
Yeah, it's a different feeling this morning. I noticed we didn't say anything about Jerome getting his confirmation hearing today, but I guess he's not as much of a friend of the market as he was before, so that quickly we forget all about him, right? So, yeah, like this TSRI, there's no avoiding this. It was only a matter of time before we were talking about and looking to trade a sub 1 million share float symbol. So here it is today. Obviously, Rivian's going to be in the news bad again, and I think we're going to be looking to take some shorts on Rivian because that capitulation might not have happened. The Qs had huge volume yesterday, which could be leading towards maybe thinking that was a temporary low there. Congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. I did not catch the game because you know me, I was asleep. But yeah, congrats to them. Fantastic one. I got this factoid from my wife. I don't know if it's true, but she said last year was the first year in Toronto's history that there wasn't a single day all year under 14.5 degrees Celsius. And of course, that's not including wind chill. And then today, it's bitterly cold in Toronto today.
It was minus 19 on the car ride in, but I think this is the coldest day in a long time. So I believe that stat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she wouldn't make it up. I mean, 14.5.
Well, my wife is never wrong.
So right, that's what I'm saying. It seems. Yeah, well, you know, married you, right? So she has to be very smart to do that. You could see here, yeah. So look, it's going to be another good day. I think we got to pick our spots again. You know, Rivian is right below, close enough to its IPO price. Of course, everyone on the street, like all of us, everyone on the retail side got it at. I mean, I didn't get it, but at 106.50, I think, and then the real price out was 78. So right now you're kind of cruising towards that. Ford has a big seller on it. We can come over to this. We've seen this before. Yesterday we saw 6 million shares. This is only 240,000 shares, so it's not that big, but it's on a live market right now on ARCA. So we'll see if this continues to sort of follow it down. We have to break through this number. And again, this is a third of what the market is right now. So we've only done 600,000. You have 250,000 right here. So it's probably going to have to drift down a little bit. In that case, we want to get long 40 right here around 23.50. We pegged that perfectly yesterday. I don't even know if we have there it is right there. So yesterday we waited, well, we didn't wait too good. We got in about in the 70s and hit the 50s and then took it out up here. So a good trade for Ford yesterday. We'll look for the same today, but there is size, Brendan, following this bad boy down.
Yeah, going to be an interesting trade today for some of these automakers, including Tesla. As we said, Chinese numbers out this morning doing well for them. Also, Rivian not so good, back to the downside. So we'll have a look at those coming up. Miss V still under the weather. We wish her well. She'll be in the chat again today. Wish her well because she's working hard even when she's at home, feeling not so well. So we hope you are back with us soon, Miss V. Let's talk about what to expect coming up today. Yeah, I saw that Jerome Powell confirmation hearing coming up today, or what is it, a ceremony, I guess? Not necessarily a hearing, but I mean, not much of a fanfare, as we said, going forward for that. There's a lot of, general statements this morning, guys, as far as the market is concerned. Kind of comparing what is to come this year versus what we had last year. Such a great year last year. What is to come as far as what we can expect for growth, what we can expect for tech stocks, what needs to happen as far as the market continuing to go higher, and that is going to be up to a lot of these big name tech stocks. IBM with a downgrade today, a bit of old tech, but trading a little bit lower. We saw Apple with a huge move back yesterday, Microsoft with a huge move back yesterday, Meta as well, pretty positive here so far to start things off today.
Yeah, like one of the things we sort of just had mentioned off the open there. Yesterday it was a monster reversal. I have my daily charts going back a little bit on the cues. I can zoom in so you can see what that wick ends up looking like. But it's the volume spike, right? Like biggest volume day since early in December, December 3rd, when we had another sort of big capitulation bottom type of day. That was a weird little flicker. Yeah, so big volume spike, and you get that wick bottom. A lot of times that can be a little bit of a short-term bounce. Look, we were breaking that support on the cues, so a lot of times you see that setup on a stock, and it's pretty bullish that you're going to have a temporary run. So we talk about it. Sometimes it matters a lot how the market finishes up, not necessarily how it starts. Another case of that today. I mean, I don't know how much the Powell thing would matter today at 10 o'clock, but I guess we'll keep our eyes out for any sort of comments that might come through. But yeah, it was an unbelievable reversal. Do we think that we're out of the water yet? I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's multiple people now saying that we could be getting those 4 hikes this year, and that puts us in a little bit of a different environment. And I don't think the litmus changes between your quality, and we're talking about tech in general. That's why I have the cues up. Your quality tech names that actually make money and have more reasonable valuations than the ones that are out of hand. Like if you in the after, the best, one of the best signs of like what 2021 to 2022 might be was on our show yesterday when we were talking about Zoom, and the looks on all of our faces when we looked up their market cap. That's we're still in that environment. So some of those names might still get beat up, whereas the better quality tech names could be in for a little bit of a bounce here. And obviously that means like the old tech IBM that have done well. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a turnaround at some point when you have those runs. The cues reversal yesterday might be indicating that we could be in the start of that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about something reversing. I mean, Facebook, Meta, one of the strongest names it's not strong when the market goes down, but this is a name that I really, really like, man. They have tons of cash on hand, over $21 per share in cash. $3.15, it hit $3.15 yesterday, if you guys can believe that. And then where we closed? $3.28, sorry. So you made back $15. Almost in a straight line there on 300. So a nice little move back up for Facebook. You can see this name, another one that hasn't really been destroyed at all. Like even yesterday, people coming over and asking me like, how's your account? And I'm like, it's fine actually, as long as you're holding a lot of these big names. And that leads me to my next point here. And that is, so I was calling up Microsoft. I don't know what's going on with these charts. They seem to be pretty slow here loading up. But Microsoft is a name I think you could buy here well below the 50 period. But I think I'm going to take, because I'm in TDOC, but the thing is, it's not a big position, but I'm honestly just thinking about taking the 20% hit, something like that, whatever the heck it is here. I'll have to find out my price, and I'll let you guys know and tweet it out. But I think this is not going to be the right environment, man. Like we first bought TDOC around here, this 130 level, I believe, somewhere in here. And then we rebought it in and around where we are now, not this low, but in around 90. So yeah, we're probably taking like, I don't know, maybe a 20-25% hit, but these names aren't going to work in this environment, and I think I'm just going to give it up. A UI path something like that as well. Just save your money and, you know, wait for these bottoms and then pick up just better quality stocks. I don't think, you know, 2022 is going to be a year, and I think we've already said this numerous times, where you want to pick up names that, you know, don't have earnings, that you're sort of fighting the tape every day with. Any kind of a bump up in a UiPath, a Teladoc. The only name that I do want to hold, of course, is Palantir. I believe Palantir is a real company, so we'll wait to see if that's happening. But look at the NASDAQ. We thought that today we'd get a little bit of a relief rally. It doesn't look like it. It's tanking right back down. We'll probably go red before we even open up. And if you're wondering what's happening behind us, we've got all the boys are in right now.
The whole crew.
Yeah, the whole crew here. And it's, I don't know, is it Reno Day, Demo Day, whatever this day is going to be called. It'll go down in infancy because, you know, it's a big move for us, Neil.
Yeah.
The studio is expanding, and it's going to be an awesome time. We've got more, bigger, better things coming for Brad and Valeria's show, bigger and better things coming for our show. We saw yesterday that sick board that we had now. And again, guys, thank you for
That's going nowhere.
Yeah, thank you for the super chats, and thank you for you know, contributing to the membership and everything like that. It's $5 a month, and then any super chat you guys give, we are working to make this a much better experience for you. So if you do see that in behind us, it's going to be an active day, and I'm excited for it. So you know.
Big changes, guys. Obviously, there it is. Yeah, you know, it's a serious day when Randy has his tape measure on his belt. So we'll keep updating the floor changes that are happening behind us here. Yeah, I'm still watching this TSRI. Just crazy volume already. 6 million shares since we've sat down this morning. UAL. Want to talk about the travel names? UAL just came out, said, right now, as of this morning, they have 3,000 employees positive for COVID-19. So we've been discussing some of the cancellations as far as the US-based flights are concerned. So not much of a reaction to that, obviously, but not a good number, obviously, for them. Wanted to mention LVS here as well. Some of the casinos getting an uptick this morning, 3% for Las Vegas Sands. It was JP Morgan upgrading to overweight this morning for LVS.
That's hilarious, because wasn't it yesterday LVS was on the other side of that board? Someone came and downgraded them. So, I mean, it's just like, this is what I'm talking about. You know, there's only so many names, like an LVS, like a Win. Oh, LVS is a NASDAQ name? Oh no.
No, it's New York.
It's New York. Okay. Oh, I was on NZ, that's why. You know, these names have been beat down. Oh, yeah. Now, you must just go to Neil. I mean,
I do have the daily chart up here. Thank goodness.
What is going on?
I hit it like a little bit sooner than you did. It's like if you get the wrong symbol.
What do you mean if I get the wrong symbol? Loading data 10, 9.
Actually,
8.
That's a little slower than normal.
Little slower.
You might want to. I would log out and log back in, but that's
you know what? Forget about this renovation, man. I need a new computer.
Log
or
out and back in, man.
But log out and back in.
But this is what Sean's talking about. Like you catch. Like I think it got at least one downgrade yesterday. I want to say, if not a couple, and then you're bouncing to the downside off 35. You snap back up. I know the market's snap back up in the afternoon, but that's quite a large gap up. So. Yeah, I don't know. You get those downgrades. A lot of times, it can be a signal of a bottom because people can be a little bit slower to react. It's obviously still risky to be involved in some of these a little bit early into the game. But you know, like we said, like there's been a chance to be nibbling there. Win probably provides some decent value. There's no volume to see maybe too much of a day trade. But when I zoom back out to 15, I think you saw it on the daily chart as well. You have had like multiple layers of resistance on the way up to 40. Like this is a very choppy zone for the stock through these prices. So I think you could see some possible fade opportunities on this name, if not a few of the other ones in today. But like we said, this is a pretty impressive V-shaped recovery. You know, I'd love to see us bounce here off the open, but the NASDAQ, yeah, it's already testing back in now. Even if we have a bit of a sell day today, that wouldn't 100% discount what happened yesterday. It feels like there is an environment that we're going to be in for the first quarter where people will be looking to take profit on bounces when they do get them as they try to juggle their portfolios a bit. So I think we can see a little bit of this yo-yo action on a day-to-day basis, which is good for day trading, obviously.
Go ahead, Brendan.
Good for day trading, obviously. Good for volatility, as always. I was just seeing Tilray here. Popping back up this morning. Tilray with earnings yesterday. Yeah, I guess it's just an analyst note here out this morning, guys. But I mean, this group in focus a little bit yesterday, obviously off of this earnings report. It was pretty impressive, though. I mean, TLRY held up decently well. Yes, we were off the highs around that $8 mark, but still held up decently well, even late into the day.
Yeah, like even in the close show, I was sort of saying we got out of the short, should have been looking at that 7 long because it did the dip. And this has been a pattern, like a lot of these, dip and then catch the buy, like even on good news, and that's what happened. It bounced off 7 even, barely breaking it at the open, and then had the turnaround right in the range where we kind of liked it, failing in front of 8 and then giving you that 60 to 70 entry point. We'll come back to that later. And then holding a base at 7. Now it's trying to do so here, except it just recently broke that 7. There's not a lot of pre-market volume on it, but that's the key level that I think you were looking for to see it hold up today and maybe make another run at that 50, 60, 70 zone where I think it could have been shorted again. Instead, I'll be looking, wrong way. I'll be looking at that $7 level. And if you pull it up on the 15-minute, like this is why we were so interested. I'm saying to myself, in the afternoon show, it should have been almost a no-brainer to be just taking a quick scalp long at 7, because look how good that level previously was. But if we can't hold this, I think that's your resistance point. That's what I'll be watching at the open. If we can't get a runway over 7 even, then it's back to normal for some of these names. Pop and drop and continue a bit of a downward trend. So look, it was impressive yesterday, the run that Tilray had. But the first key level of support looks like it's trying to be broken here. Small volume battle being waged here on Tilray at 7 even. If you guys see the positions, I mean, like BDX is just a small cap. I think it's on the watch list. Pets is from yesterday. I don't know if we had intended on talking about it, but we mentioned this in the morning. I know Brendan was saying as well. Like there was nothing that we could find, but Pets halted I think 4 or 5 times to the downside, got absolutely destroyed. And this is nothing more than just seeing if there can't be a dead cat bounce on it. Like it's just I looked at the afternoon consolidation, 75 cents. To about 81, 82 cents here. It broke one time, got back up here, essentially right after market and then traded the same range. It then broke the top of that range, and I've just been like going long in front of the pre-market lows. So the bottom end of this channel is 77, 78, where someone parked 100,000 shares on the bid really, really early in the morning, and I've just sort of been scalping it in front of that buyer, each time trying to get a better price. Like at first I was longing 81, 82s, and then now I'm longing 80s. And I'll probably eventually start longing only 79s in front of 78, and hopefully it doesn't break. But I'll run to the exits if it breaks that 78 cent level and then try to reassess, because that stock fell like an absolute rock yesterday. Wouldn't want to get caught in the wrong direction, but just looking to see if it can't make a bit of a bounce, and it's done 6 mil in volume.
Guys, if you can, hit the like button. 463 likes. We didn't do a like count yesterday. So if you can hit the like going right now, 3,000 watching. So, this should be at least about 1,000, I think, right now. If you could do that for us, absolutely great. Remember, we're doing everything for free. We have watch lists, we have sticky note, everything, getting ready to rock and roll. Hey, what's up? Dominic, thank you so much. Yeah, one of our biggest supporters here, Dominic. 6 months. Good, awesome. And a new member here as well. Try my Tam Tam. What's up? Oh, those Tam Tams. We had some Tam Tams. They're like a chocolate cookie. I don't know if. Good. Yeah. Have you had them before?
Yeah, we had them. Didn't we have them here?
I don't know. Did we? Somebody, but maybe. I can't remember. I don't know where they're from. For some reason, I thought they're maybe Australian or something.
But I thought somebody brought them in
here.
Yeah,
Tam Tams. They're chocolate. And they're like some sweet goodness. But they are very, very sweet. Yeah. And yesterday, look, I talked about Tilray, and I'm going to say the same thing all the time. And that is that you just want to fade every single time it bumps up here. Obviously, I'm stuck in a horrible position on Tilray. I've been in these weed companies since day one. So we've made money getting out, getting in. But Tilray's just been an absolute pile of and there's yesterday, even when it was ripping up here, I was like, this is just a fade the whole time, and that's exactly what it was. Up for $8, now down to 7. You're breaking 7 right now, so Tilray continues to be a problem. I would only buy. I mean, there's not too many options right now. If you did want to buy a pure play like these guys, CGC or Tilray, I think are the right plays. If you want something like that, I like a TrueLeave or something. The MSOs, the multi-state operators, I like a little bit better than anything else. So TrueLeave is TCNFF, I believe, on the pink sheets. We can have a, oops. Oh God, I did PL. That means this is never going to change. Okay, so, okay, here we go. I logged out and back in. It's is it TNCFF? Let me see, one last chance. I'll find it for you, but it's TrueLeave. And there's also Grow Generation brand. So there's a few different names that you might want to look at in the cannabis sector. But I don't know, man. I'm going to stay away from all this. Constellation Brands you can grab. They do have a piece of CGC as well. So that might be something that you want to look at.
Yeah, more earnings coming from that group. I think it's next week as well, so we'll keep an eye on it. A few headlines, guys, from the retail sector this morning, including American Eagle just out with, I guess it's holiday plus Q4 expectations. So AEO, I just saw popping up on volume here to the downside. It was higher in the pre-market. I mean, there's CVS is on the watch list. We'll touch on that. A few other retailers moving around here in the pre-market, but that just out there on AEO. There's Abercrombie and Fitch I saw as well on an upgrade today.
Yeah. I mean, actually, American Eagle made a decent move yesterday. It just feels like, man, like, I'm looking for a stock that didn't do this like yesterday. You know, just you had that crazy move down and an unbelievable V-shape. Like, where did this not happen realistically? Look, the volume's not going to be fantastic for American Eagle. So I can't for American Eagle, and I can't promise that we'd ever be looking to trade this. But anything that is going to fail badly back through the previous breakdown point in yesterday's action, that kind of becomes an obvious resistance point, especially when it had trouble breaking past that. So it holds the top of the V at the end of the day, and then we just immediately capitulate back through. Like, that's a channel that if you hold this, it might be a pretty easy short, 23.50 to 24 even. But there's not a lot of volume here, so if I find maybe a setup that looks a little better than that, that might be the place to jump to. They seem to have mattered a lot recently, some of these upgrades and downgrades, and there's some big names on that list today.
I did want to give a big shout out to Rolling Records. Yeah, thank you so much. You gave me the name there. Yeah, it's TCNNF. I own it in Canada, which is just TRUL, but TrueLeaf here. Again, multi-state operator. This is what we like. You can see that it's been holding up quite well in a lot of this wreckage since September. I mean, you're flat. There's not too many names that have the growth potential, I believe anyways, of cannabis that is holding out levels right now. So honestly, TCNNF. This has saved my account like numerous times. I'm actually long this name in Canada, like sub $10 somewhere. So this has been a good one. TrueLeaf, I think this continues to work again. Multi-state operator. So thank you so much to Rolling Records and everybody that helped me out right there on the cannabis find. But okay, and just what about Gap? You just talked a little bit there about some retail sectors. I like Gap here. Gap only has a PE right now of 17, which is pretty good. A big move down for Gap. It's funny because Marissa, my wife, sent me and I thought she wanted me to get it. It's the Gap Yeezy hoodie. So they're back in stock now, and they're $120 for a hoodie. So that's what I thought. But she was just showing me how expensive it was. So I was like, okay, good, because $120 for a hoodie seems to be a lot. So I mean, people paying $600 for the shoes. But anyways, the Gap hoodie, the Yeezys back in stock.
You get multiple Trader TV hoodies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Buy 10 Trader TV hoodies. Well, no, be 3, I guess.
Yeah, you could get
it's only
10.
$40. But the point of what I was getting at here is Gap is also doing a deal with Kanye West or Ye and Balenciaga right now. So, there could be some movement here on Gap, just looking at that name. Obviously a beatdown name that does have some love and some opportunities here with a profitable business. So I don't mind Gap at these levels as well if you're looking at the retail side.
All right, a few upgrades and downgrades to pass along this morning. There's American Airlines, Morgan Stanley increasing their price target on that. AMD on here, Apple on here, MasterCard back on here, even though it's down on the morning. I just noticed PayPal back on here to the downside today. Roku, Netflix, and Lulu, guys.
Yeah, look, I mean,
PayPal,
Netflix interesting. Like some of the names on that, I guess it's the right side of that, right side of the board there. PayPal and
These
Netflix
are all huge names today.
They're all big. MasterCard up there, AMD
Netflix
with an upgrade. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. I mean, Apple. I don't know. AMD's actually on the move, up the most, I think, of all those names on the upgrade board. Actually up over 1% with the market trying to get back negative. And that's another crazy bouncer. But there's some levels to watch for sure on AMD. And those chip names, whether it's AMD, whether it's NVIDIA, Marvel was on the move yesterday. Some great bounces, looking back at 129.5, 132. You sort of look at, and again, talk about that V at the bottom. And then you're holding ways away from that previous support level right here at about 131, 132. I think that's your dip area that you want to be able to get to. Still some resistance up here at 138, but that's that's plenty of runway if it has a chance to go. Of course, the fear being, yeah, we just turned negative. And again, I don't know what's going to come of Powell at 10 o'clock. And on recovery days, the opening push, usually you get a reversal or a slowdown around 10 to 10:30 anyways. So you'd like to have a chance to be able to run into some of that, and then maybe be concluding positions at 10, maybe 10:30 as well. Lulu was a name that we looked at yesterday, and I don't think we actually made any trades on, but it'll be sort of casually on the radar. But give me the chip names, give me the EV names. That's what I'm active on, and then of course our low float crazy runner, which is that TRSRI. Will definitely be trading that. I have no idea how that's free for us to short, but it is.
Yeah, PayPal also on that side, on the right side, I believe it was a downgrade, right, Brendo? PayPal?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, PayPal again. If you're going to get an opportunity to buy this name, I don't know if we want to get into. I'm already into this name, so I think we'll just let it settle down and see what it goes from here. But PayPal again, fintech has been so beat down, and it's trying to find a bottom here. So I mean, again, another stock that's worth nibbling. If you do get a bump down into like 180 again down here today on that downgrade, that's probably worth it. Someone said that Kim K, obviously Kim Kardashian, moved on from that crazy boy Kanye West. Okay, so she moved on from Kanye West, but just Google who she's with now, and then you tell me if she's moved on from crazy. So I'll leave that with you, and let's go back over to Brendo.
Another one just out here, guys. Urban Outfitters as well, with holiday sales forecast. URBN down a little bit here, not a lot of volume, but 2% after their sales forecast just hit the wire as well. So going to be an active day, it would appear, for some of the retailers. We should have a look at the banks as well. I noticed, yeah, it's going to be a little bit noisy in the background today, but bear with us, all is well. We should have a look at the banks here as well, guys. We had both JP Morgan, as we said, Goldman Sachs out the past couple of days with their interest rate hike forecast for this year, both kind of settling around the 4 number. JPM, though, Jamie Dimon specifically saying that he's also expecting the year to be very positive in the growth department. So, I mean, that's good, even in a rising interest rate environment.
Yeah, like if you think about there's tons of different ways to look at it, right? Like everyone talks about the what is the market going to do for growth, but the overall economy as well has an opportunity to grow here, especially if things turn around or continue to maybe turn around as they have recently. I'm going to pull up a 15-minute on Wells Fargo just because the daily doesn't want to cooperate too much. But if it's going to be a strong economy, that's one of the reasons I like the consumer staples. And if you believe in that, it's also still a good and robust situation for the bank. So you have both a raising rate environment and a strong economic growth should portend well for that group. And I still believe that's a decent place to make sure you've got some exposure to. I was just saying in the chat to Stephen Howard in there back and forth that I like healthcare for some of the security I think you'll be able to get in some of the better names there. Specifically on the banks, though, there has been like this great run that they've been on and sort of barcoding off the top here that's still continuing. And I watched what happened yesterday in Wells, sort of trying to get through the top. There we go, finally. Yeah, the pre-market just finally loaded in there. Trying to break through the top and then fading. And now we're right back at exactly the same level that it failed at essentially 9:30, like right at the opening here. It popped into 56 and then flushed the rest of the day right into, I guess, next level support. When that happens twice, sometimes it's the easiest opportunity out there. Again, volume's going to be a bit of a problem. You're always waiting for, if it doesn't do vol, you're waiting till the open for that trade. But I'd be looking to see if the banks fail at the top again and come back in, we're still having this potential rotation back into some of these tech names, and that could mean profit taking once again in some of the banks. So while I do believe it's a place that you want to hide out, I'm not going to ignore the fact that they've been on those highs. I'd pull up a chart of Morgan Stanley, but man, like that thing looks like it's like one of those like heart monitors between 100 and 105. It can't get out of that range, right? So maybe it's got to consolidate there longer while things settle down before it gets the next leg up. And it feels like Wells is getting into that as well, which provides you with trading opportunities off those key levels when you get them.
I've been saying it yesterday. I said to sell the XLF. It's gone a little bit too far. You could have got it at 41.50. We'll see. That's the high. It didn't move much yesterday. I mean, it's just, I mean, we could talk about all the banks. They're all basically the same as far as what levels they're at and whatnot. And I think they'll all work the same. Citigroup may be the best book to value out there, just if you dive into it. But again, with the banks coming out, I just wonder what they're going to say, because I feel like they're priced to perfection right now. And I just don't know what they're going to come out with. I just remember in the history of bank earnings, and I think you can go back and maybe, have a look for yourself, but we could run some numbers and all that stuff. But I think that JP Morgan and a lot of the banks, they have great earnings reports, but they very rarely go up. They're very conservative. They don't have much to say about moving forward. So can JP Morgan get back to 170? Maybe, which is not that far away. They could get to that today. I just think this is pretty top heavy up here on a daily chart. It doesn't look that good on here because we have these bottom wicks, but you could go all the way back to October and JP Morgan, and it's probably the same for Morgan Stanley as well. We're still at levels below where we were in October. Sure, it's been a great spot to sit out and hang out in for right now, so you're not involved in all the wreck. But if you go back here to October 8th, kind of like past earnings seasons, you're going to see that we did dump back down here, hit the view up to 162, and then kind of just been hovering around there. So back in the most recent highs, I guess, is right into here. So you can go back to October 22nd, 173. So you're still down since October. So if you put money into banks in the fall, you're not actually making anything on JP Morgan. There's going to be other examples, I believe, like a Morgan Stanley. That's probably, the same kind of thing too, actually.
It can't break out.
Right, yeah. So they're all, even Morgan Stanley, if you put money into Morgan Stanley in September, you're losing right now, right? But it doesn't matter. It's a good environment. You collect the dividends. I like the bank stocks, but at the same time, like if something goes wrong with earnings here on these names, then you're going to see it break 95, Morgan Stanley. You're going to see JP Morgan break that 160. You're going to see WFC break all these levels that they've been bumping up against and can't hit, right? So I worry. Well, WFC's okay, there it is. It's a little bit. Oh man, these charts, I tell you. WFC's a little higher than the rest, breaking out. But again, that even makes it more dangerous. If WFC misses, guides lower, something like that, then watch out below. So I think it's worth taking some off the banks and then if you're in 100% of a position on the XLF or any of these things like that, I would get out of half even today. And then wait till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Let the banks tell you what to do and go from there.
Just saw Krispy Kreme, Bank of America initiating coverage on DNUT. No movement whatsoever, but initiating with a buy, I believe it was, as well on that. So just a heads up on Krispy Kreme today as well. We'll bring in Arun here and get a look at the overall market, which, the ES back to negative here, Arun, after a decently positive start to the day.
Yeah, we had quite the rally yesterday. We fell off a decent portion, and then we bounced back sharply in the afternoon, and we finished strong. I mean, I think we were slightly under, but it wasn't as much as we were earlier in the day. And here we are kind of inside the area, which I would have preferred to play yesterday, because yesterday we were talking about that potential short around that 60 area, and then we can find something, on a pop, we short into that area, and then we let it go down. It just took off. So we kind of weren't able to participate on the downside because of the way it took off. But now at least it's in that zone that we can actually find some shorts. And that's what I'm actively doing here. I'm keeping an eye on this as we just broke 60 here for 46.60. I think if it goes another few points, I think south of 46.55 would confirm this area for me. This is exactly what I was looking for yesterday. So I'm still going to be open to taking the same trade today. Anything south of 46.55, I'm looking for some shorts here. 46.90 is still the stop. It's going to be the same read on the NASDAQ. Remember, I gave you yesterday 735. 734 is the overnight high. So that 735 area, that 15,735 is still in play. So both levels that we've kind of been looking at are still available on both the NASDAQ and the S&P. So if we get below 15,560 or 15,560 on the NASDAQ, 46.55 on the S&P. The reads they're going to be the same, and I'm going to go ahead and look for some shorts here. I think nothing's really changed. Apart from the fact that we had that big drop yesterday that gave us now a support point, apart from that, the resistance levels up to the top are still in place. So given that I've already given you guys the resistance levels, we'll look at the support levels. I've got 45.65 as a support level on the S&P 500. And on the NASDAQ, I'm not going to draw anything because I don't really trust much of the levels down there. So we're going to leave the S&P support at 45.65 and the resistance level at 46.90, which could potentially provide a short right now. I mean, the markets are relatively flat at the moment, but I think that could change if we can actually get going a few more points to the downside.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We will check back in again tomorrow morning. Going to be a busy day around here. Let's jump right into what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. That is the link to the watch list. Again, every single morning we send it out for free. You can pick that up at that site. Miss V in the chat will help you out if you do need that. Once again, let's get into what's moving around here in the pre-market, guys. We're going to shrink down a little bit and show you some of what is coming up. So that will keep you on track as far as what we're going to discuss and what is to come. We'll jump right into Rivian. First off, yeah, big deliveries, or maybe not so big deliveries for Rivian compared to Tesla, but 1,015 vehicles made by Rivian by the end of 2021, guys. That was below the 1,200 target they had revised to the downside in December.
So you're looking at donut.
That is still Krispy Kreme, correct?
Yeah, that's still D-nut there. But
you know what's on his mind right now?
Well, you know what I saw? I saw this new board. How you like that new board, guys? Again, told you we're investing in some technology, and Rob, and shout out to Mark and Lucas and Brendan and everybody. There he is. Yeah, get to work, Randy. I thought that said on the stage, see what it says Apple Fitness Plus, like 4 or 5 down there? I was looking at that and I glanced at it, I thought it said Apple Fritters. I was like, oh God, here we go. Someone went to go get Apple Fritters and make
Brandon was watching Donut, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, what is going on
You're thinking
here?
Apple Fritters.
Let's talk about Rivian right now, though, quickly here.
I could eat. I'm just saying. I could eat.
Yeah, maybe Randy's going to go get a pack of Apple Fritters for you there, Neil, but... No. Hey, we're trying to be healthy here. Anyways, I got my. Well, maybe you two can have it. I should stay away from Apple fritters.
I'm not trying to be.
Okay, so look at Rivian, and again, if you haven't had an apple fritter from Tim Hortons, I mean, honestly, you probably should. It's like the best fast food kind of apple fritter type of thing you can get. Okay, please retweet the sticky note first of all. So Rivian right now, we're looking here again. What I wrote, the IPO price of 78, guys. I like to short back to 82. So we talked about that on the sticky note today. Rivian, Neo, Ford, Donkey Kong, AMC, and a couple notes. So I'll put this one more time in here. Just look at it, retweet it, have a look. I mean, they're just my ideas, and hopefully they work out, and it's kind of what I'm waiting for right now. I'm not in anything, but here goes Rivian again. So what a crazy ride this has been. We anointed this Rivian this week as Rivian Week back in mid-November, and here it went, just up to the races. 180, like Rivian, there was absolutely nothing stopping this name except for reality, and then all of a sudden, bang, it hit, and its ugly head came through, and it hasn't been to 100 since it broke this level of January 5th, and since then, it's down 25%, down to, well, I guess down 20% from 100 down to 80 right now, and looking like it wants to break lower. So why do I say $82 here? It's just, this is the high. So the last couple days, it's actually just from yesterday, the high there of 82, and then we had some dropping off spots here of 82 back on the 7th, and then not much here, but that sort of started it. So I'm looking at 82 as a level that, in order for this to change its trend, you can see this trend is pretty obvious here to the downside, and we are right now at that 78. So I've paid for shorts. I do want to take this short. I said also on the sticky note that we would take any sort of pre-market break here. So on the 1-minute chart, you've done 300,000 shares. That's not bad for Rivian. The pre-market bottom is this 77.50. I don't know. I would have thought that we might have been down here already. So let's just wait to see on taking that short. We still have 20 minutes to go. But right now, I like Rivian into a short. But I'd rather wait to see what happens up in this consolidated area up here. 81.50 is where I have my first short. That's probably going to be too conservative. It probably should be down here near 80. But again, I think Rivian has a chance. It was just yesterday where we had this monster drop down and flush down to 77. I mean, we opened the day on Rivian yesterday at $84 and touched down 77 before finishing around that 82 mark. So let's see if we can get back up there. I don't think it's unbelievable to do that. So we're going to hold out for Rivian. I may not take that pre-market break. Let's see what happens. And before I throw it over to Neil, we just haven't done this yet. We do have an imbalance situation today. Nothing like yesterday where we had DD 6+ million. We have Pfizer on there as a bid and Teva. Other than that, man, Ford. I'm not even going to talk about Ford or BAC or any of these names there. These aren't big enough to move the needle. So right now, that one stock is what? Still halted? And okay, no.
No, it's open.
Okay, yeah, it opened. It was on there for days and days, halted, and now it's open down to 24 cents. So yeah, anyways, nothing there, but you're probably thinking short Rivian as well.
I'm thinking in probably the same levels too, and it just comes down to support. Whenever support turns into resistance or vice versa, I always think you got to pay attention to it. So you had the capitulation bottom on the 6th, and then the afternoon support was 82, and then it supported here at 82 again, then dropped off, and that was the top end of your range in the afternoon yesterday. Then you had a lower high, a higher low, a higher low that got put in that same day, right at about 79, 30 or 40, which didn't seem to matter at all yesterday, and now it's the pre-market high. The only reason I have an offer out for the first level, that bigger level at 82, but not the lower high down here on 79.5, because that would be like a pop and fade wherever it does in front of that pre-market high, as opposed to I want to open myself up to a few more opportunities there in that range. I still, it's a short till it's not. The Qs had a capitulation, what seemed like a capitulation bottom based on volume. When you go to the daily chart on Rivian, show me that crazy volume day. Like yesterday's volume pales in comparison to some of the other volatile days. When this makes a low or a crazy wick bottom that has a recovery and a pullback that shows up with a huge volume spike, and I want to see 3, 4x, something like that, then I think maybe Rivian has a chance to turn around, but it just hasn't really done that yet. So I still think it's like we said, it's like a short till it's not at this point, and hopefully we don't miss it. Yesterday was a bit of a miss on that stock.
Yeah, pretty weak once again for Rivian, but we'll see what happens. Let's continue. Tesla going to be up next here, guys. Record Chinese delivery numbers. And this is China-made vehicles, so this is for December. If you remember, I had to go back and look. It was the first day of the year, in fact, January 3rd. We got delivery numbers for NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto. So Tesla out a week later or so with their numbers, 70,847 cars. That's a ton coming out of Shanghai, guys.
I kind of feel, don't they all come out in the same week usually? I could be wrong about that, but it feels different or it feels weird. Anyways, I guess that doesn't really matter too much. The last 2 days have been pretty insane for Tesla, but you basically ended back up where you started. See, there's that thing again. There it goes. Yeah, that wick bottom. So I want to make sure you guys saw that, because the wick bottom on Tesla was not breaking at 1,000. It was actually breaking all the way down to 980 and then holding 1,000, and there was 1,000 back up long that I didn't hold on to. I scalped it out. And look, we're right back to where we started on this name, where I got pummeled at that 1080 level. So fool me once, shame on me. I'm not going to try the rest because I'll bungle it. But that 1080, once again, pre-market, we're rolling over right in front of that price. So you still have exactly the same resistance at the bottom end of this channel. Obviously bad news, disappointing news for Rivian, probably portends at least a little bit well for Tesla. But in this particular environment, no one wants to hear that Tesla falls into the other bucket, but they do, right? Tesla isn't in the Apple and Microsoft bucket, or even dare say the Ford or GM bucket. I love the company, but its valuation, it is what it is. It's stretched a little bit. So, the fact that there's already some profit taking as the market comes back in doesn't surprise me. If there was a crack at that 1080 level, I probably would have given a shot shorting it in between 75 to 80. I mean, we're now at 1,050, so you can probably stick a fork in that idea. But I'm going to go right back to the well, liking the 1,000. And then there's probably a 1020 area. If you look at what the bottom was before, there were some chances in the 10 teens and the 1020s for bounces in front. I know we're following the list there, but I do have to get to this BDTX. We're in other positions, so I'm just going to quickly come to this one, because it had a consolidation range here lower that usually I'm always going to take in the 530 range. It then broke a hard floor at 520. I didn't take out shares. I added to it on that break and then took some out in front of 5. So riding this one on a bit of a pullback. It's a quiet morning in small caps. So I'm going to take advantage of the ones that are moving, that have floats that aren't 800,000.
Yeah, 800,000 share float. Unbelievable. They shouldn't even be allowed to do that kind of stuff. Okay, so yesterday we were very, very patient with NIO. We are talking about Tesla here, but I'm going to go over just to another EV space here because I just find it's more significant at these levels. $28. We waited for that yesterday. What a great gift that was. Came right back down. We were able to buy those 28s a couple times, scalped it out like a madman here, and then was able to hold something till there, all the way up to 28.60. So closed the day 28.90. Starts to bump up above 29 right now, and now looking to fade back in right into these levels again. So I'm sitting down here at this bottom, and again, another name that's on the sticky note today for us is NIO. So we'll still look for a long if we get back there. We have to be patient again, is what we're saying on that. So hopefully, it does come back into this 28 area, and then we can try to buy some dips on NIO. So that's what I'm going to do in the EV space. You've heard me talk about Rivian. I have Ford on the mind as well. We don't have Ford on the board. No, we don't. So I'll just quickly talk about Ford. Ford down to 23.50, another long that we had yesterday. If we can get this again, we started it right about here yesterday. Wrong. In and out at the end of the day. That was a mistake. We had a stop order sitting there. But there you go. Ford back upside. I still think we can work off this 23.50 level. It's coming back in right now. We'll see if it can tick down. And we do want to start that long position. Here it is right here on a daily chart. 23.50 for Ford. So we'll watch Ford, we'll watch Rivian, and we're watching NIO. We got a lot of, and again, it's about trading what's moving. And, right now there's a lot happening, but we're going to stick with, there we go. We'll stick in the, I have it. Yeah, there it is. I don't know what you were going to, what were you going to?
I was going to search for the same one because we don't have the stock ones then.
No. So we'll do, this is the EV. Unplugged or plugged in there. The car takes off without you. We're going to find a couple longs and a couple shorts in this space, Brendan.
Go to chip makers, guys, part of the EV group, but also some individual news. And speaking of INTC, we can also have a look at AMD as well. AMD just an upgrade today. This move, though, happened after market for Intel when they announced they've named former Micron CFO as their new CFO and executive vice president starting January 17th. Yeah, we're right back down here, but that was pretty impressive after market yesterday for Intel.
Yeah, it's a little weird for Intel to have aftermarket moves like that aren't related to earnings, right? Like, it's just getting the CFO there. It's obviously that's usually a positive when you pull from a rival there on Micron. The other story, and whether it's a story or not, that's up to you guys. It moved way up the list from an ECG point. Number 2, I think, on one of those recent lists that got published. So take those always with a grain of salt. But it is entirely true that Intel does do relatively well with their energy consumption and making of chips, which is it's a huge energy. It doesn't get talked about enough, but it's a huge energy consumer manufacturing chips, and Intel does one of the better jobs of being at least reasonably judicious with their energy use. So that's a good sign for them when you have people starting to think about that thing in these times, and maybe you get some money for that. The day trade I was looking at yesterday, we didn't actually put on. You're not going to see. Was playing off the 55 level. It gave you a bit of a pullback. I don't know if we're going to, it looks like we're churning back into that. It could find some support. What I'm really more interested in is the previous high here, that's this 56.20 level. And if you think that there's going to be any chance at a small rollover today, this sets up like the previous high, ignore that post-market move on adding an exec, and then you come right back in and you already have a failure at the previous high. So I tend to throw, sometimes you try to look past some of those pre-market or pre and post-market wicks and then nail down the actual price action. So if we can fade off of that level on Intel, fair enough, I like that. And then maybe you can look for a small breakout scalp trade. It's been on a pretty solid run here, and again, like, people start thinking about profit taking when you get to levels like this. This is what it looks like on the daily chart as well. Like, it's running into some obvious resistance points. It's nowhere near those highs, so let's see if there isn't a trade over there in Intel for that. Ooh, Tesla just broke 1050. I think, the market just turned, just went to 0.3, like a third to the downside on the NASDAQ. Looks like we might get some of these bids starting to really come in here. Somehow Rivian hasn't taken out the bottom in all of this, though.
Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Denise. Their ASRT, this name is on one the last little while, but I'm feeling like it's probably overextended here. Again, Assertio Holdings, not sure what really made this new high, so they acquired a drug device combination there. But anyways, there has been news. That was back in December, so they are starting to make moves now, reaching some highs. And I don't know, Denise, honestly, it's up to $3. It hasn't been here in forever. So I think this is a decent move upside. If you look at the 1 minute chart, it had a crazy ramp into the close yesterday with a lot of volume coming in around that $3 level. It doesn't look like it has a huge share float. They're not making any money. But again, $3, depending on where you're long, like I'm thinking in and around here, like, so that's the bump up, 260. I think you got a nice base there. No reason for it to fall back down unless you get some negative news. But again, you're nicely up to $3. I'd almost watch out for this 280 area. If it breaks back down below, you might want to take something off. But hey, what a great move for ASRT. And again, here's 280 right here on the 20 minute. So, you know, if you get back into this area, you may fall to 260. I feel like it's a nice base here with some volume. So I'm pretty happy with you holding this ASRT. And if you want to take some out, my first level would be 280. And if not, take a little bit out on open. But again, it's hard to say not knowing your position. But I think you got a good name here. If it does collapse, you do have some support in the mid twos. So thank you, Denise, for that super chat.
Sean, you want to have a look at AMD while we're at it as well?
Sure. So AMD, again, yesterday, what a monster move it had back yesterday. And I believe that we were involved in so many names there yesterday. Yeah, here it is. So AMD yesterday, you know, you got to try to protect some of these bottoms. And what a great bottom that was yesterday at 126. It actually hit the 125 flat all the way to the upside. How is AMD not a buy at these levels right now? It's down to 130 and change. And again, if you're all doomsday and everything about the market and think like inflation is going to be a problem, then yeah, AMD is a huge high flyer. It's come off from 152 all the way back down. But look at that move on the way back up. It reminds me of Facebook, reminds me of a lot of these names here. And AMD that's still ASRT. I don't know why all the charts changed, but that one. But AMD, again, high flyer, trying to make a base. Oh, darn it. Yesterday we get that crazy touchdown to 125, man. That could be your bottom now. So let's wait to see. I think you have a green light to go long AMD, and I just play off that 125 bottom. I don't think we get as bad as it was yesterday intraday today. So if we get a move to the downside here, I think you can watch out for 125. I don't think that happens, but look at the NASDAQ, man. You're down that 0.3 now. Yuck. I said that I wanted to start the day by selling some of the high flyers and buying better names like an AMD or an NVIDIA. Like their PE guys still in the 40s and 50s, still can come down a little bit more, but hey, AMD's found a base, but it's also found a top. So I think it's stuck right now. I think you just buy dips on, you know, the NASDAQ, on NVIDIA, on AMD, on any of these big NASDAQ names. You got to wait for pullbacks. Today is not the day to step in and buy anything for your long-term account.
All right, let's talk Apple here, guys. Out this morning with a new Fitness Plus subscription model. This is as per that website, GSM Arena. So the new program going to kick off in London, Brooklyn, and Miami Beach. Users will be provided with an audio guide, tips, and a long step-by-step instruction, essentially, for this new service. So this is a part of what they announced going back to the end of last year, but a little more detail as to what people can expect in this product. Not huge news, obviously, but decently strong anyways. Again this morning for Apple.
Yeah, like one of the topics yesterday was sort of like possible places that Peloton could get like bought, and throwing Apple out there. I think the thing with Apple is like they're so strong and amazing, they can pretty much do anything on their own. And that would be like that one barrier to them needing to make big purchases. And then, you know what? Apple's been like the small acquisition type of company as opposed to going after bigger fish because of that truth. You did get look, you can look at the top of this channel, up at 167, 168, up to like that high at 180. We'll call it the 3 trillion mark, but it's just above that 183. And we touched the bottom there. And, you know, you would think that, okay, like after you touch that bottom, make a reversal, you're headed back towards the top. But again, you know, you have not broken the top end of this range. You're still running into resistance at 175. You're getting the market roll over a little bit here today. Even in Apple, you know, it needs to break back above this before you can get too excited about it here. So you need to sustain some of these bounces. I like it. If you're looking at some of these, if you're looking at the overall big tech names, I like the fact of their brand recognition and all of those reasons why I think they're going to do well in a good economy. And when you're sort of reevaluating some of those valuations, but it has yet to make a really big pullback. So I want to see us retest this support level. Does it hold again? Can we withstand another bounce down towards the bottom end of the range, and can it hold some consolidation down there for even something like an Apple? The 175 still sets up as a good resistance level for now. I think you're fading off of it the same way you look at that 1080 on Tesla. When it churns through, there'll probably be a good opportunity for a long trade, the same way I would look at a Tesla. But today, let's see what happens with Mr. Powell. I don't necessarily see a trade for myself in Apple. I'm going to be on the EV names and the small caps and the ones that were already in here. But 175 does catch my eye. I did try long in front of it back when we were holding that as a support level. So usually that means that I like it to try it as resistance as well.
I want to give a big thank you so much to SAB Podcast here for the super chat. So thank you so much, SAB Podcast. The $10. You could see everyone busy working behind us. So we'll grab a jug of coffee. Thank you for the $10 for sure. And new member, thank you so much for stepping up as well. Dirujan, thank you so much for becoming a member. It definitely means a lot. Yeah, I wonder what Kramer is talking about today. My guess would be maybe he's talking about Intel. He's probably talking about Marvell or maybe AMD, things like that. But you guys tell me what is up. Okay, so Apple, I mean, I don't really care about this name until they buy my Peloton. So we'll just continue to buy Apple on any dips. This is the one name that's been pretty strong. It's still above its 50-period moving average. You're not going to find that many major cap tech stocks above this. So, hey, Apple's been the best place to hide. It's always going to be that way. I love Apple, but remember, if you are bearish on the market, man, Apple has no choice but to sell off because they're in all these ETFs. So what people do is they tend to sell the winners in a big market. But again, I don't think there's any other major cap tech name that has more tailwinds than Apple. Now they're getting into fitness game. We've seen everything, man. The new watch, the new phones are killing it in China. The #1 phone now in China. Welcome to the iPhone 13. Apple TV continues to be a rocker. So, I mean, we'll wait to see what happens here with Apple and the market. But hey, any dip down, 165 is a buy at the 50-period moving average. And then if you're lucky enough to get anything down here to 155, it's again another screaming buy. So thank you for, more super chats and more members. Shout out to a member for 11 months. What's up, Mud? How's it going there? Thank you so much. Yeah, let's make some money today and every day, Mud. And then a big thank you as well. Did TLO open up yet? So TLO.to, that was the name yesterday.
It was posted when I checked.
Yeah, that's Talon. So, up to 85. So it's open now.
Okay.
Talon, you can take this. This is the name of, was it uranium or what were they? Uranium. So Tesla yesterday comes out and look at TLO. You can see a big bump up. This is going to be a monster stock for traders here at Day Trade the World. So if you are with Day Trade the World today, look at90, it's already done 500,000 shares in the pre-market, which is absolutely monstrous. Look at this. It just touched 90, 92s, 90s, and then we just back in 87s, 88s right now. So this is going to be a violent name today, but it's going to be a lot of liquidity. Hit it if you're with Day Trade the World. A definite there. 9:26 in the AM. Mark down TLO today. Should be a good mover, guys.
Couple more to get through here. CVS guys out with a full year guidance increase, both EPS and revenue to the upside for the entire year of 2022. So CVS not very active, but higher in the pre-market. We'll go on to Nikola as well. It was Covenant Logistics Group signing a letter of intent to pick up 50 of those zero emission trucks from Nikola as well. So 1.7 here in the pre-market for NKLA.
Look, the story of Nikola recently has just been, it's had support at various levels. Right now, it happens to be 975, and then we talked about this earlier in the week, and you saw it bounce off that same bottom. I think that's your trade. Your safer trade is only played off of the recent levels on your 15 or 20 minute, and the one right now we're looking at is 975. I talked about pets, and I know people have asked about pets. They're like, what's going on with pets? And the quick answer is, look, it's not like we know either. It's just it dropped like an absolute rock. I'm trading it, like I said earlier, off of the bottom end of this channel, and I can sort of zoom in here. It just wicked down to 80 cents. I'm long at 80 and I'm not actually long at 80 cents. I'm long at 80.4. So I'm using a stop right there, that 80 cent mark. At the open, I don't want this breaking down on me, so I'm just going to quickly jump out of it. I've been scalping it all morning. I'll probably go back to the well if it holds 78 at the bottom. And another small cap, you're in as well, Brendan. I think that BDTX.
All right, yeah, just looking behind me here, it's going to be a very, very busy day, so that's really exciting for us for sure. The question was, how do you play that TLO? Honestly, I think you just play the momentum. It's going to be a crazy name today. It's going to do a lot of volume. It's sub $1. You're probably going to get tens of millions of shares on it, so I would just scalp it back and forth as much as you can. Quickly here, before we go to Brendan at the big screen with only a minute and a half left, we have SoFi down here again near 13. I think this is a buy against that 1280 bottom that we've had before. But again, the NASDAQ is sick again today, so watch out for SoFi. But if we dip down into 13, 1280, I think that needs to be bought. So just a minute left. We're going to have someone on the bell, maybe. Maybe it could be Lucas or somebody.
All of them.
Or every single person on the bell today getting ready to rock and roll. So get ready here, guys, with only a minute to go. Brendan at the big screen quickly.
Yeah, quickly, guys. BDTX, I'll give you my take on this. If you go to the daily chart, 575 and then 6 above that. Really all you need to know. It's already broken to the downside. So 575, essentially pre-market highs for BDTX, guys.
Yeah, and this TSRI, by the way, just broke the high of the day, just broke 13, continuing to run. 800,000 share float. So
that's nuts.
Yeah, if you don't have to, we don't have to tell you to be cautious trading this. If there's something that's going to halt today, it's probably the thing with the 800,000 share float. Already going gangbusters. It's free for us to short, but I probably might wait for halts before I do anything along those lines. Yeah, TSRI. Make sure you have that on your radar. Watching from Rivian, it just bounced higher. Looks like it might test that pre-market high. I think it'll be Randy on the bell today. That would make a heck of a lot of sense here. But lots moving, lots to watch. And our good friend Jerome, who's no longer a good friend, I suppose.
Nope.
Getting his confirmation today, dropping the countdown. There it is. Yeah, I see him. It's Randy on the bell. Guessed right. 5, 4. You can wave 2, Vitaly. 3, 2, and 1.
Let's go. All right, thank you, Mr. Randy. Yeah, welcome to the jungle, guys. We're ready to rock and roll here as the market's open for a Tuesday. So here we go. We're looking at SoFi. We're looking to see if we're getting into anything. Right now, not much moving on my board. We do want to go long DraftKings as well. We want to go long NEO if it dips down in. But right now, we don't have anything that TRSI rocking and rolling right now, TSRI.
It just spiked all the way to 1450 and then immediately reversed there. I watched Rivian sort of take out, test towards that high, that 79 and a half or so. I'm going to go first shot on Rivian here in front of the high, but it's a TSR I can't really flip away from this stock because there's no chance that I want to miss a potential trading opportunity if that does a bit of a reversal.
Yeah, TSR coming back down. We got our first trade on right now, and it's going to be Ford. And there it is, man. We took the 60 long. It's up to 67. We took some out at 65. Let's wait to see what does happen here. There to 69s. Oh, we didn't get that fill. Oh, we're at 70. So watch out for Ford here. We are trying to get this trade into our account right now. We are already long Ford, trying to get some out at 70. Long at 61 right now. The only trade that we have on. NEO's coming back in not coming back in, but coming down to the price that we like here at 28. I'm sitting at 21 right now on NIO. Look at the NASDAQ, man. It's getting cracked.
Yeah, Rivian already. It
really?
pops right into the pre-market high. This is the trade. Like the pre-market high rollover. Grab 79.22. Just got some out for a quick dollar scalp. I'll go back to that well if I get an opportunity to. That BDTX is the other one that we're already trading. It just broke $5, so I have to start thinking about getting some out in front of, probably in front of 90 and then in front of 75s and see how far this one wants to fade into the downside. Tesla. Oh, man. Which shares which we were watching as well. That's breaking to the downside. 1020-ish is about where I like the bid on Tesla. And then checking back in on, only because the market's falling here, so checking back in on AMD, already down to 131.80. That 129 looks spicy. This isn't a horrible area itself for a quick initial bounce. And then, I got wicked out of pets. I said I would have a stop at 80 on pets. I got wicked out of it. I was scalping off that level. I wanted to see if it would retest the low of the day. It looks like it bounced without retesting that low. So I'm out of pets. I think I'll get another crack at that one. I don't think it's done just yet.
All right, guys, we're going to fire off some cannons right here because we're just in one trade, and it's been a doozy right now. So the pins lined up for us on Ford. We just took some out at 72 and 73. Sorry, 70 and 73 right there on Ford as that one's still rocking and rolling. So we definitely are excited for that play. So let's see where we go from here on Ford. Looks like it's going to be a good one. Our NEO did not get filled down there at the bottom. Wow, what a good play that would have been, though, as the market trying to get back up to the upside right here. So let's look at, like we said, an AMD trying to make some bottoms, maybe. That Rivian starting to go back up as well. So that could be a name that we're looking to short if we get it in. 133.50 maybe, though, for AMD is kind of the levels that we're looking at. We have to sort of take that out. That's where we opened up. So I'd rather see that trade come in. But we do have a bid rate maybe here at 132.70. I'm just not super confident in this market rally right now. So you can see Ford's come back in a little bit. I don't mind looking for something to short. We've looked at NIO. We've looked at and Rivian. The only name I have short on my list is going to be Rivian, so I got to try to get into that one.
Yeah, I just jumped back into Rivian myself at the 79.25 mark. I'm going to show you. I'll show you TLO because I don't know if Toronto trades aren't showing up on our thing, so I'll keep you abreast of what's going on. It opened up in Toronto here at 85, like it was trading 85 to 86. I was sort of scalping it for a penny or two, and then it popped in. I had a long and got into 89. It looks like it's a fade in front of 80, sort of 80, mid 80s to the high 80s there. So TLO doing tremendous volume, 6 million already. Tesla on the rebound. Rivian also trying to get back towards those highs as we go to Brendan.
Take two, guys. TTWO, big mover yesterday on the Zynga news, testing pre-market highs here back to the upside. So big volume, buy-side volume, I should say, for TTWO.
Take two off the Zynga deal, yeah, for sure. A good mover there as well. Tesla down to 10.00. Tesla just bouncing around right now. Let's have a quick look at that one. It was just 1060 there for Tesla. Yeah, so still 1060 now for Tesla. Rivian back to 79.50 and trying to go up to the upside. Let's just check out Lucid quickly here. Lucid.NQ, yeah, that should be right. 42, all the way up to that $43 level again. That's an interesting spot for us on Lucid. I'm trying to be as patient as we can here. Maybe a fade through this 43 is something that we could look at for LCID. So that's another name to take into consideration right there. Alibaba with a nice move to the upside today. Wow, 130.50 right now. Alibaba, an aggressive move up. So this could be something that we look to break out. That's still Lucid. That we look to break out through some of these levels. What is that? 132 to the high side right there. So yeah, watch out for this. Alibaba's gone right now. That's a good trade.
I'll tell you what I missed out on. Intel was the name, and Intel's not always a day trading stock, so I can forgive myself for not wanting to get over to it. But there it is. It actually does its nice little turnaround. It fades off of that previous high, so didn't really believe that that was going to be a catalyst that would get it going. You're going to see it continue to fall. It's at that 55 mark. That was a key price before, but watch out for Rivian. I still have a piece of this left. Got short again after it stopped out to 79.50 as a failed break. Able to scalp it out to a 78.75, so another winner there, about 50 pennies, not the dollar from before. And then you see it retest high, but it hasn't broken 80. So if I get one more chance to sort of get back in, I want to hold a core short, but if it breaks 80, I'll probably dump it and look back to 82. Now I want to get like 79, 80, 79, 90s, which are on board here. And then if it breaks even, we know the price that's a little bit more significant. And that price obviously is at 82 level, so I will come back to the well if we get that chance in front of 82. Brendan's got another name for us.
I saw there was a note on JD.com this morning, a negative note from analysts, but some Chinese names showing strength here. PDD, day highs on a huge volume spike, 2% for Pinduoduo.
All right. Yeah, that's what I was noticing with Alibaba as well. So a good little look there. We're going to go into Palantir. Like, what else is new, right? We're into Palantir right now off of that 1650. We're going to let this one sort of settle down. We do know that we can get back into this area, but we do have a 1650 spot. If the futures do want to continue to make the move up, then I'm happy being in this name. We missed the SoFi bid. That bid was NASDAQ. That came down into 1320, man. We were waiting lower than that in the teens for SoFi, so that does not come in at all right now. Snapchat back on the way up. Man, this is a good day. We talked about getting out of some of these names that started to rally, so I think after the show's done, we'll do exactly that, as UiPath as well, up 3%, looking to take out $40 right now on Path. So that name's starting to work as well. Just another one of those Cathie Wood names. It's not doing a whole heck of a lot, but, moving around as the NASDAQ battles all the way back to flat or so right now. So that's going to be something to look at there. Win on a nice run or two. Twitter on a heat or two right now, up to $40 and change. So some names definitely trying to go here. But again, this may just be one of those fading opportunities. Brennan, give us another one.
Pacific Bio, Neil, you were just asking about this. So they announced a couple of things. Preliminary Q4 results, not good for PACB, and then a couple of collaborations as well on the research side of things. So yeah, PACB down big time.
That's, if memory serves, that's another Cathie Wood name, I think, Pacific Pac B there. So under some pressure, kind of hiding the the revenue numbers by some collaboration deals. Fair enough. I got stopped out on Rivian at 80. We're going to check back at 82. Be patient. That's a level I like better. TSRI. Now, it's wicked above $14 twice now and then slammed back downside, but it's holding the line here at $12.50. So this $12.50 level looks like it's either $12.50 or you're playing off the 14 even. Can't seem to get through $15. If it breaks $12.50 to the downside, I might take a short, but it would probably be a tight stop. I wouldn't let it get past that 13 mark. I think you want to make sure you know where you're wrong before you get into this stock. Obviously, it's very, very volatile. We talked about how tiny the float is. I can't actually. You know what? I've never traded a stock that was under 100,000. Under 1 million of a float. I didn't even know you could do that, but apparently it's a thing. So TSRI could have first trade 12.50. If it breaks 14 and fails again, I might try shorting off of that price at 14. Even if you're checking back in on TLO, it does trade in the pink sheets. That actually gave back a bunch. They're just falling. I wish I was short it. I'm not short this name. I wish I was short when it broke 85, but it just fell right down to 77 cents and is trying to get back up. I think maybe 85 could turn into resistance. That's in Canadian dollars. So if you're trading on the pink sheets OTC market, understand that we're going to have different prices here if you're looking at TLO.
Yeah, exactly. Good call on that one. Okay, so we're in 3 names right now. 2 longs, 1 short. We're into Ford. We just took the Ford long. Shout out to Randy. What's up, Randy? Ford, we're in that name right now. Ford, hey, what's up? Long off that 23.50. We're taking it. It's on the sticky notes. So we're going to see if that rocks and rolls right now. We are short Rivian as well at 80.20. That just went down to 79.70 there. So probably should have taken some out. Let's put another bid here on Rivian and just start to cash out right now. As mamma mia, this market's a nice one today. What's up, Brendo?
Lots of strength here. Another one that had pretty impressive move back to the upside yesterday afternoon. You can see a huge rally back into the close for Snap, 3% for Snap so far.
Yeah, and just to halt it, this NTRB that's halted is done near, no volume, 28,000 shares. If you're looking at this one, yeah, it basically did not trade. So I think it's just liquidity that's the issue. I'm not sure it means it's going to be in play. SBEV was on the bottom of our watch list. Last name on the list, Splash Beverage here. They did announce an authorization to use a performance drink in Walmart. They're in Walmart stores, apparently it looks like. This $2 level was resistance already in the pre-market. And I'm looking again back at $2 even. You can look at it on the daily chart. You did have some chop in that range. I think it struggles to get through that price. It sets up for either a break or a failed break. You know I like failed break short. First look at a $2 level, I'd be willing to, because it's a pre-market high, to take a short in front of it without having to actually wait for the turn.
There it is, guys. So I joined Neil's party here with Rivian and take right there 40 cents right there on Rivian. So I still want to get more short, obviously, as we go up to the upside. But there's a winner for us right there. So we got unplugged on Rivian. So we're going to go short Rivian and we're long Ford. And let's go Ford again up to 23.65 right now and still rocking and rolling. We're in 3 positions. All 3 were winners today. So good one. We'll see if we can have some diamond hands. I don't really like that terminology, but we'll see if we can have that now as Palantir ripping today's high right now. Yes, sir. You know what? It doesn't take a lot of ideas if you have good ones. So there it is, man. We're going to go 3 for 3 again today. 3 for 3 on the day. And let's just keep getting out of some of these names. Look for opportunities to go, man. I still think Rivian Tank City coming up, guys.
And TSRI just popped in. So the first time I got in this, we'll see if we can keep the win streak going, but this is obviously a volatile stock. Like I said, I'm only giving it to 13. You might say to yourself that is too tight of a stop, but you know what? I'd rather play it safe. If the floodgates open up, I think it breaks 12 even and can continue further to the downside, and there's no way I want to get caught on the wrong side of it, waiting for it to take out, like a level like this where everyone's going to have their stops. I think those are liquidity traps. Brendo?
BarkBox, guys, just popping up to the upside. Actually, big volume on the buy side. Looks like their co-founder going to be named CEO. They actually out with Q3 2022 revenue forecast as well. That's better than expected, regardless. Nice look here. Bark up 10% so far.
Sell that name. I hate that stock. Yeah, BarkBox.
Hate.
Yeah, BarkBox. I liked that earlier. I'm still in that name too. It's like at all-time lows. It's a crappy SPAC name, so BarkBox, whatever, pass on that one. Okay, so Ford comes right back in. Good out again. Like as it keeps rallying back to the upside, we did take an out there on VWAP. Now we'll wait to see if it does come back in. But right now, Ford trying to move. As the market started to fade out there, how easy are those outs on Palantir? We took those right in front of you. Well worth the scalp. Again, a name that is just not profitable. I love Palantir for the long run, but you know, this price, maybe not a good one. So we'll have to wait to see. I like the NASDAQ, but again, it's down 0.7 again. So I think this is a great opportunity to get out of some of these names that have not worked for, you know, some of these, like Palantir's down 70%. I don't know if it's down 70%, it might be, but some of these names just getting absolutely destroyed. Palantir is another one that we want to get out of every time it rips up. I did say I like DraftKings today, down near 25 bucks. Again, it's on the sticky note. Have a look at the sticky note today if you are interested. Again, it's right on here. Here it is right here. Rivian, short, NEO, we're still looking for long, near 28. We're at that. I mean, the 2350 level on Ford alone has cashed out for you a lot today. It's back down now, but if you don't scalp it out, that's good. And let's go have a look at AMC as well. So DraftKings and AMC, the next couple names we'll look at.
Yeah, and remember we talked a little bit about Las Vegas Sands, maybe getting into some multiple levels of resistance. It just tried to get to that 39 one and then made a big turnaround, but big move up 5.5% and still sort of screaming here is Las Vegas Sands. TSRI looking like it could be okay. BDTX starting to work. And by the way, pets, if you're watching that one, it held the pre-market low, at least for now. 15-minute and the daily chart's going to be ridiculous on that stock. But it just held the pre-market low, and it's trying to grind off of this. The way it fell yesterday, you can't think any price is too low for this. It was completely insane. If 77 were to break at the bottom here, I'd be watching out for that stock. Rivian, I'm back into this one. I kind of feel like this is one we don't want to miss out on. And another name from this morning, which we're talking about the chip names, Intel, has caught a bit of a bid, but lower high at 55. So that 55 level could turn right back into resistance from yesterday. That was about lunchtime that we were trading off of that level.
Okay, so Ford was a good one, and then all of a sudden just gets beat up to the downside now. So Ford just cracks lower there. We get out. We're not going to hold this. This looks like it doesn't want to win today. So Ford, again, another name that's just been absolutely motoring to the high side there, breaks this level right there. So we're going to get out of Ford and play it if it bumps back to the upside. Maybe that's something that we'll look at. But right now, 2340 or so was enough pain for me on Ford. So we did get out of that one for now. Let's go back over to Brendo.
BCRX, guys, BioCrest Pharmaceuticals, monster day yesterday, going again here today. There was multiple upgrades on this thing yesterday. There was a full year forecast increase for them as well. So here goes BCRX again through that high from yesterday, up 4%.
Wow, what a short that TLO was. Unbelievable. Like right here at 80, it just continues to drop right to that 85. I thought it would come back to this price. It just doesn't seem to want to do that. BCRX is definitely one I can add to that watch list. As we've definitely traded this. Oh crap, I had it on Toronto, so it's going to take a while to flip back. Yeah, there we go. BCRX loading. There it is. We just broke that $15 range. Worse at like. We talked about this at that $15 yesterday, and this was that high here, that to 15.60, sorry, 16 even. If you look at the last time it dropped to this price, I think churning through this level and getting to 16 is where I get pretty interested in it. Oh, here comes Rivian coming to that 82 level. Oh, we're back into it, but I'm going to dig in at $82. That's the big level on Rivian. But 16 on BCRX is definitely going to stand out. It was a very, very linear move to the upside. Today, it's looking a little bit more parabolic, which might make it safer for a short.
Yeah, 81. Okay, so I might as well start right now on Rivian. I mean, I want to get better prices on this name, but I mean, if it's only going to give me this right now, we will take an. Oh, I missed it. Oh, did I get it? No. Why am I not getting those pieces on Rivian here? Okay, so I was thinking about taking the short right now on Rivian. I'm waiting for a little bit higher, but this is fine for me. Let's see if we. Okay, there it is. So there we go. We got a fill finally on that name here. So we'll trade this. Here we go. We should get more short right now. There it is. So, okay, so 81.40 just came in. That's the real short. So this is sort of now we're into Rivian. I like this play on this name. We've talked about it up to $82. So let's wait to see what does happen. There's Rivian right now on the 20-minute chart, up to 82 and change. It could easily take this out. I mean, the NASDAQ's rallying, and it looks like it wants Rivian today. So, hey, if they want Rivian, they can take it. And I'm not going to stay in this for too long. But again, like 83, 84, you got to give it a little bit of room here. But right now, Rivian is on one, back up to the upside. But hey, we're now 30 cents in the money on this. So let's see what happens here on Rivian. We took that 40 cents right there on the first piece. It just ticked down to 80.50. Nah, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that would have been 60-cent winner for me. But again, talking about it, not putting out orders, that could have been taken out for some profits.
Yeah, and just watching the one name that I did like for a long bounce, and we might have missed here as the market comes back, is AMG.
Oh, shit, I had it
bounces off that 132, at least for now. It's trying to bounce off that 132, get back to the upside. If that's going to be a level to hold for consolidation, can't look at that daily, then I'm going to definitely like it. This is a recovery. Just put in double bottom 131.60. So I'm looking at 132 in front of that 131.60. Is that Brendan?
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, just quickly, guys, PHIO, a few people mentioning this one. Back to the upside today. French, looks like Paris, or France, I should say, gave them clearance for a clinical trial on a melanoma treatment. So 20% on PHIO.
Yes, sir. Like what we're getting really excited about there is that Rivian, man. We reloaded it multiple times on the reload. So yes, sir, we are reloaded. Wow. Now let's see if Rivian can fall now, man. This could be a good trade for me here. Into $80 would be pretty sweet for Rivian. We do have some more bids on the downside. You could see, man, boom, boom, boom. So, you know, with confidence comes hopefully success. And let's see if this can happen here on Rivian. We held our Ford a little bit too long. Obviously, as that, we had to make that move all the way to the downside. We didn't get the very bottom wick, but if I would have seen that, damn it, darn it, that would have been a great move back up to the upside right there. That's that wick bottom that we're always looking for. Oh, man, I missed that. But right now, Rivian, 70 cents in the money on a reloaded position right now. So, yep, good trade here. I said to sell that bark box at 4. It's at 390. I should have looked at that as well. And that hour is moving around as well, up 6%.
So I'll keep checking back in on TLO. I know it's not showing up in our positions. I just shorted 78, and that's in Toronto prices, and then just got back out of it. Hour was a big runner in yesterday's price. I don't know why it's not on my watch list there, but Hour. We know $8 was pretty key for Hour yesterday, so I like that as a resistance point. You got to be careful because another low floater, but this is what I mean about $8. Afternoon, about 2:30 or 2:40 or so, it definitely had that as a lower resistance. I think it has all the trouble in the world if it gets there. You're seeing it sort of barcode shy of that price, still that 740 where it had the breakout initially yesterday. That could be the first resistance if we don't get to 8. Was that Brendan?
More EV news, guys. Gore's Guggenheim, the SPAC, GGPI, which is Polestar out with pretty good delivery numbers as well. 185% jump in quarterly unit sales for GGPI as well. So nice move for Polestar, guys.
All right. Yeah, GGPI, that's a name. Pratt always looks at that name as well. You can see in the background there, lots of work happening. I still think we can get to 79.50 on this, man. I don't know. You know, we've already taken the profit on this name. It's going to be a good one, obviously, for us today, but we still need this to come back to the downside. That's going to be Rivian. NEO already took off. We had it on our sticky note, and thanks for all the love again on the sticky note today, guys. We had it listed down at 28, man, and unfortunately, we didn't get long. I might as well just cancel this. I don't think it's going to come back in. We're waiting at 28.20. The lowest it goes is 28.47 there, so we miss, you know, a big move by a little bit, but that's going to happen when you are. Wow, LVS up 6%. I know we already talked about that. My big guy, my big play is Win. I'm into that name, and I'm, you know, can't be happier with that one. Up 2%, but obviously I wish it was up as much, if not more, obviously, than LVS. But there again, another opportunity to get shorter in Rivian.
Yeah, I just grabbed something, just made an 82 break and then failed. It got to 82.07 and the bid didn't follow it, so that was a reload for me. I just put an order in because I realized I didn't have one on pets. If it takes out the low, I'm just going to go short this name. It's just as simple as that. Like, it's after what it did in yesterday's action, if it can't break out and catch a bounce, it just, to me, it has to be short. That's too good of an opportunity to miss out on. This TSRI feels like a sleeping giant. I shorted the 12.50 break. It has not been able to break $12. I still think I can get hopefully 50 cents on the first little bit, and then if it breaks down, it could capitulate. But this is starting to get a little bit hairy. I might tighten the stop up to 75. The longer it holds this range, given how tiny the float is, the more dangerous I think it gets to be sitting in that short. And then BDTX is the other one that I'm still in. That is also bouncing. Shorted it here. Well, I actually shorted it first at 535, and then again when it broke 520. It's managed to bounce off 480. If it holds above $5, I got to start thinking about taking some out above 5 again. I would not reload this unless it's up at VWAP at 530, the original short price.
Darn it, man. We got out of that Ford way too early. That's not a good one for me right now. But let's look at Palantir as it's right back to the day's high. So we definitely are liking this name to the high side. Let's go Palantir. Wow. Again, a 20-cent winner right now on PLTR, taking out some of these highs right now. So that's going to be a good one. If we look at a 20-minute chart, you can get some highs here at 17. So we're getting pretty close to that. We did take out 1730 there. So that's something to look at right here. But 1710 or so, not a horrible level. But yeah, Palantir right now. Yeah, let's go. Oh my God. A nice little win here. 25 cents to the upside on PLTR. Let's take this. Let's take a piece out. There it is, 83s or whatever we just got there. What did we get there? 83s. Yeah, so 83 out there on Palantir. Just hit offer, enter, rolled us up right there. So yeah, good trade again. Let's go Palantir. A nice move to the upside right there. Rivian starting to go upside as well.
I just got stopped by the reload in front of 82. You can kind of see it here. Just got stopped when it held a bid above 82 even. If it does, I'll wait for it to put a bit of a capitulation at that particular price. If it does come in again, you can see it was a lot better sort of loading in front of 81.50 than it was 82. But it has yet to hold this break. If it manages to slam back down and there's a failed break to 82, I would just re-enter that trade. Brendo's got another.
Not seeing much in the way of news on this, but high volume and a nice move for BlackBerry today, 3%, just breaking back through 9, guys, into the middle of this range over here.
How did I not get the... Oh, that's the worst on pets.
Blast from the past with BlackBerry right there. Okay, yeah, we'll have a look at BlackBerry for sure. Yeah, Rivian there goes up through 83, so we'll have to wait. We just got out of that one, so stop this out. You know, obviously a losing stock because we averaged in so much, but thank God we were able to take some profit out there for that name as it just, wow, continues to march up to the upside. What is Lucid on? Is that through like 44 yet? Yeah, so Lucid a big run as well today all the way to the upside. Wow. A lot of these names, big time movements, and pretty happy with it. I want to get out of some of these names that I'm in. SoFi, wow, we called SoFi too at 13. I just should have punched that when I saw how low that was off the open there again. SoFi, what a monster, moved down to 13.20, and again, like we're waiting in the 13 teens for that one. Missed some of these moves. What a good day it is, though, for the market as it's trying to battle back. Like, I thought we were getting down to like a pretty bad red spot there, but it looks like right now the NASDAQ trying to battle. Here it comes back to the downside, but good thing we have Palantir as Ford and Rivian both wound up going the wrong way on us there.
Yeah, and look, pets, we actually had free shorts on pets all morning long, but just there, it looks like I have to pay them. So I was pretty sure we had free shorts. I tried to get the break at the low of the day. It broke 77, right down to 73. So it was a pretty easy winner if you got it. Now I got to check to see what locates will cost on pets. Again, it got destroyed yesterday. I saw someone note that it had options trading for the first time. I didn't confirm that, but I saw someone saying that in the chat. There was no news note for this stock getting crushed from like $4 all the way down to the penny stock that you see it here today. So I'm going to go ahead and pay for those and see if I can't join the party. It was a scalp long pre-market off of some of those lows. Clearly, we are now going the other way. And yes, that BCRX has reversed a little bit off of that $16 level. As, of course, I was trying to get pets and getting stopped out in Rivian up at the top at 82, missed the 16 turn on BCRX. I still think there's a chance at that trade again. That was where we were waiting for this price level. Now we're here at 16.
Yeah, I mean, DWAC bouncing again off some of these levels, so we're back into Rivian right now. DWAC, again, 58 and change. I don't, hold on a second, I gotta wait for this Rivian. Let's just go over to Rivian quickly. I don't know, man. We took another short there. It's bouncing around a lot. I just thought maybe we might have got wicked out at the top there. So I'm going to try to give this to $84 now. And then, you know, if 84 breaks, then obviously, you know, we're going to give back what we made or what we've made on this current position that we have anyways. And we're just going to give it to that. So we'll see if it wants to break, then we'll let it break back up to 84. But right now we are short again at 82.50. So we'll drop some down here near 82 bucks and see if that, you know, pans out for us if it does wind up going back to the downside. But right now Rivian up to 84. This is, and again, I'm not going to just sit here and like, you know, give everything back or lose the week or anything like that on Rivian. It's just right here we do have 84. We've been wrong on this. It's a big move to the upside here. I don't know if Rivian works in this environment. I didn't think it did, but we just touched that 78, which was the IPO price. We hit that earlier in the morning. That should have been an indication when we didn't fade it out down worse than that. So obviously they're bouncing off of that level. So we're going to have to hold this against us a little bit here. Rivian, again, if it takes out that 84, then we'll get out of that. So if Rivian does that, then we're gone. But let's see. Hold out hope that it doesn't. Palantir right now, though, wow. I mean, this is what I mean. Sometimes it's like just trade the names that you like. And Palantir right here, 25-cent winner to the upside. SOPA moving, DWAC moving, BlackBerry moving, SoFi moving. Yeah, it's been a pretty decent day for some of these names.
Yeah, absolutely. I just took the first leg out here on that TSRI. Remember, this is the 800,000 share float stock. So obviously it's going to move a bit. I think, look, I took some out in front of 12 even on the 1250 area short, and now I'm looking down towards $11. I think it's going to extend a little bit further, but that's where the breakout was at 8 a.m. So when retail comes in at those key prices, I like those levels for take profits and sometimes for breakout trades. You mentioned BlackBerry, but it's DWAC that I want to get to because DWAC is sort of churning back and forth at that same $58 level, which was some trouble a couple of pre-markets ago, which was for most of the day resistance at 58. It wasn't the whole day, but for most of the day. Before late in the day, it reversed at 60 even. I kind of like those two levels again, although we've already broken 58. If it can now hold that, I think it could be a short, but 60 is a much better price. I mean, I saw, yesterday was a fail break at 60 even. I tried the long, it didn't work. Should have been into that short, I did not do it. I love 60 way more than I like 58, but if we hold this and sort of barcode along this high, I would then maybe try a short at 58 on DWAC, but patience is a virtue. I'm already in enough shorts. But they're pretty much all small caps at this point. I don't want to be fighting anything else when I think the market could be trying to battle back. That BCRX, we talked about 16. Don't worry about always catching things on the way up. It rejects at $16. Then you get the first consolidation short. That's right here at 1580. It's already starting to work back into VWAP. I'll just stair step it out right in front of VWAP at 1530. So that's pretty much going exactly to plan. Rivian didn't, obviously. And then just checking back in on that TLO. Of course, with the Tesla deal, man, like that. I was telling Sean I accidentally keystroke punched out of a in and out flat of a stock. I didn't really lose money because I got in and out flat, but that is still falling to the downside. I mean, I got this 1 week. I got out of a long at 87, and it got out at 89. The second I got the fill, like it just crapped on itself. You can see it here to the downside. Now down to 75 cents. Still up big on the session because it closed at 60 cents yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, TLO. Yeah, that's a nut stock right there. It actually is also on the OTC as well. We can look at that. Roblox right now. Wow. Again, like some of these Kathy Wood names that were beat down recently, and I don't know. I believe she's probably in Roblox anyways. Starting to make moves back up to the upside. We talked about UiPath making a move today. Roblox up that 3%. And again, look what's happening today, guys. It's a complete opposite of what we've been seeing. When the NASDAQ has been getting killed, which is not getting killed, but it's down 0.5%, still not great. Names like Roblox have been down like 7 or 8%, right? So it's nice to see some of these names coming back up. Let's check in on ARC quickly here just to see, because that'll give us a little bit of a guide on some of these names. Okay, only up 0.61, but again, look at the disconnect between the market and ARC right now. Microsoft right now, let's have a quick look at that name. 312. I was going to say something has to be failing today, and it's going to be probably the big caps. Apple down.
I'll show you what's failing.
Yeah, Apple down 0.3 today. Neil has another name right now. BarkBox. Some of the beat down names are starting to get bids here, like a Palantir, man. We're in the money 40 cents on Palantir. Rivian's been a disaster today. DraftKings finally getting a bid. Oh yeah, and by the way, and I'm going to go to Neil before happening now quickly, but look what we said about DraftKings here. I've been changing my tune, right? Look. Change idea on DraftKings. Let's go long. Let's go long on DraftKings. But today, unfortunately, we missed that long. It goes all the way down to 20. Like, how do I say I like the long at 25, but somehow miss this? My bid is literally at 25.10. How did I miss this? I'm bidding 25.10. It comes down and fills 10s and goes up. Unbelievable. Wrong gateway costing me a couple bucks here as we should be long DraftKings. And wow, that sucks. But what name did you have on?
Very quickly, two things. One thing that's down, what's been a good consumer staple that's been running that I love at Pepsi, down 1%. First big pullback you're seeing. Strong run it's been on the last couple of months here. And Gustavo, no on lemonade. You ask if you want to buy. I'm not in it yet. I kind of talked about this very specifically, that name specifically. I think you've got to wait on until at least the next earnings report. I think it could be a little bit dangerous, more so than some other names in this environment. Brendo's got happening now at the big screen. How did I just...
Hey guys, happening now, brought to you by ShareVision this week. Thank you to ShareVision. S&P 500, 0.45 to the downside, pretty red once again, right across the board. It's actually the Dow leading. Almost 0.7. You can see 0.64 right now for the Dow, the Russell, all of them in the red as well. 0.4 for the 2000, leading the way there. The NASDAQ basically flat. We were trying to get back to, as Sean was saying there, positive territory on the day. I'll show you a couple of reasons as to why. There we go. AMD, nice bounce off of this high, I guess it was from late in the day yesterday. 132 ends up being support, trying to work its way back to the upside. If I flip over one more time, Apple, not really trying at this point. We got below that level, and now it's struggling. 172, 172 and a half. Bit of an issue for Apple so far. This brought to you by ShareVision. As we said, go to sharevision.com. Find thousands of streams and videos on financial charts and analysis. Right now, guys, go to sharevision.com.
Oh, another name that I wanted to get back to, that SBEV. I did say I was going to try to catch $2. Obviously got caught. I'm in 4 different names here currently. So, going to have a lot of trades on at this particular time. And it didn't, SBEV on the Amex did not get to that $2 level. So didn't quite give that entry point. One that we did get back into was Pets, although I wanted more. I have not got it just yet. Oh, if you get it wrong the first time, I was still on AM when I very quickly. If you hit it, that's what happens. You hit it too fast. And if you're too fast to pull up the symbol, it gets you, and we're fast on the keys. But consolidation under that low, there was no locates available for us when it broke the bottom. I tried to get it short at 77 when it went. I was able to get the consolidation here at 75, not the ideal price. I'll give it back to that pre-market high, but look, it's a penny stock, so there will be some scalping of this name. And guess what's on the run, guys? Tesla getting very close to that 1,080 level. I know pre-market high is going to show you a 1072, but let's look at the 15-minute. This is where that resistance has been. It's been closer to 1080, just a few ticks above it at times here as well. So it could take out the pre-market high and run into some resistance. Yesterday, it was patience for me trying longs on Tesla. And this is pretty much almost the exact same setup, and you needed to see it not just break VWAP, but then it had to hold one of these higher lows, about 1055 to 1060, then maybe catching it with a tight stop, and was able to pull it off with a couple of dollars worth of a stop to try to take 10. I don't know if it gives the same look, but that's what I'll be looking for, because I don't love this high break on Tesla at all, only because of that 1080 level. I'm just going to stick to what is sort of working here. The small caps, I didn't actually think it was going to be a day for me in the small caps. I thought there was enough on the big cap level, but Rivian in and out, that short didn't end up working out after all. And then I missed my AMD entry, and I don't feel like chasing it.
Yeah, and we're going to give, Lucid basically up to $45. It's going to be a new position alert here on LCID as Rivian is ripping upside. So, I don't really know, obviously as Tesla's going today as well, looks like we're going to be wrong on these EV names, and which is fine. We've done really well on them today. I just thought, maybe extended a little bit to the high side on some of these names, but looks like Lucid's, we're fine on Lucid. Lucid's actually, we reloaded it and we're trying to get some pieces out now if Lucid can touch near $44, but it doesn't look like Rivian wants to go down, but Lucid, oh man, where were we just bidding there? Okay, yeah, so there it is. So Rivian takes out that 84 level or so. We tried one more time out of that name. That's not going to work for sure today, but I still have this Lucid trade, which maybe this one won't work either, but Lucid right now, I don't want to, I'll still look at Rivian again, but I don't need to. We are into Lucid here, waiting in the O's to get a bid. We're actually at 06, so hopefully there we go, thank God that filled, or else I'd be peed off about that one. But let's see if this wants to come to the downside. As Rivian, we're still holding that short just to watch it, but again, that's taken 50 faces off right now. Rivian way up to the upside now, but Lucid falling back down. So we have a 30-cent win here on Lucid, but on Rivian, we've already gotten clocked out a couple times. Look at Palantir, though, right now. Like, that's going to be a good one, man. We get WTF to that, as that just keeps on making moves back up to the upside. Wow. Talk about someone reloading down there, $15, $16. That was a great opportunity there for Palantir on the downside to get loaded up into a real company, guys.
Yeah, a couple of times here, people have been mentioning Hootie. This is, look, Pets basically did this yesterday, but HUDI is continuously halting down. I can tell you, this is all liquidity here. There is, and by that, I mean none. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now 7 halts to the downside on 330,000 shares volume. 330,000 shares volume. There's a reason why it can't stay open for more than a minute. So like this, like, honestly, you probably can't even get into this one, to be honest with you. It probably has to stay open before it gets tradable. I just want to make sure we're pointing this one out because crazy action on HUDI. Yesterday it was Pets. That's settled down and is scalpable and tradable today. Hootie doesn't really seem like it, unless you're holding the short. I mean, if you're holding the short, congratulations, you've made your day on this stock because it's already down 63% and doesn't really show too many signs of stopping. BDTX, which Brendan, will thank you, Brendan, for bringing this one to our attention. It does curl shy of my target to enter again up at VWAP closer to 530. But now that it's headed back into the downside, I want to make sure I'm getting on the bid now that it's retaken 5. I got bids still at 480. This one has been more like a sit in it, and it hasn't troubled you. And again, we'll ring the register a little bit, do a little bit of backflip action because I can't actually do a real backflip. Although there's plenty of room for acrobatics in the back, which I know has Rob probably a little bit excited. Like you can play like ball hockey or something back there. So maybe we'll get some juggling done at some point, Rob.
Yeah, we can find out if Rob wants to do some juggling back there for sure. Maybe on his unicycle would be kind of cool back there. It's a great space. I think Rob actually break dances as well, to be honest with you. So,
did he really?
Yeah, so it's a good little break dance spot right there for sure. Okay, so Lucid right now, sure, we're 50 cents in the money on this name, and let's see where it goes down to the downside here. Shorted this Lucid. I think it's gone, obviously, that's a big move up there. Doesn't mean it can't keep going, though, as we've seen with Rivian. But I do have some bids down there in the 43.50 or so. I don't like that bottom wick that was just made. Normally, like I said, that can spark. Like, look at this, spark. So we're going to have to be very, very careful here with this name, LCID, right back up to 44. Let's take a piece out in case that little move upside. There, we took a 96. In case that little bid there does spark this again to the upside. So Lucid, we'll cancel our bids, wait a little bit near 43, even lower here, maybe 43.25. Where was that? That was 43.40. Okay, let's put an order at 50. I mean, it's ripping up now, so I don't think it's going to work, but let's go back over to Brendo quickly.
Volume, guys, a little light across the board this morning, to say the least. Here's one reported earnings, but hasn't broken 1 million shares yet. Shake Shack up on better than expected same-store sales, just taking out 76 there once again on some volume for Shack.
Yeah, so I'm back to the well. I said I'd wait for 85 and then probably 89. That's when I looked at the chart, literally 89 on Rivian. So trying to keep these to like tighter clusters as we can. There was one bad one right here, the second reload in front of 80 that stunk, and that's going to be the reason why I'm going to be down on the stock. And now I'm looking at 89. At this point, I'll show you on the daily chart, on the 15-minute chart, what I'm kind of talking about. It's 85 break, and I can't bring myself to want this one long, not with Jerome talking, not with us. Basically, the market's basically flat at this point, so I'd rather pick a spot for a turn and be very cautious about it than try to be jubilant and going long on some of these guys. And thank you for the super chat, Eric. We prepping some Bills Nation table slams. Look, I actually haven't been down to Ralph Wilson in a while, and the table slam has gotten apparently like out of control since we used to go to the games, John. Like, it's way bigger of a deal. I don't know if my back could handle doing a table slam. I can do them in spirit. I'll definitely be dancing around every single touchdown.
Bro,
my daughter cheers Bills go all the time. She loves it.
Sorry about that.
Don't hate. But yeah, no table slams for us, although we have a bunch of tables. Those you would not want to slam through. Trust me on that one. You're not going to get through them.
No, you want to use like a nice, easy table for sure. If you're not able to golf there, I don't think you want to be thrown through a table there.
I'm not Mick Foley.
That's not going to be a good look there. Looks like Lucid right now. Good thing we took out some profit, but we did notice. I mean, you guys saw me get out there. We'll reload it right now, but we noticed those wicks and how they are just like actionable events, man. And there's another one, there's one there, and there's one there, like boom, boom, boom. Every time it's signaled upside moves. So there goes Lucid again to the upside right now. And I mean, looks like we're going to try to take out 45 right now. Like these stocks are just going absolutely crazy today. Lucid, Rivian, like Neo. We were into Ford. Where's Ford right now? Yeah, Ford. So Ford is the one that's getting hit today. All the other names starting to go crazy. So maybe we just short Ford as kind of like a hedge against this Lucid trade. But for right now, wow, this Lucid is off to the races. And really, man, like there's really no clearing anything. We just took out the 50-period moving average, which has been great. Lockup happens on the 19th, which is a week tomorrow. So there is share lockup coming on this name. I don't know if it's a little bit too extended for that kind of news to come through. But yeah, right now, Lucid just on one to the upside, and we continue to hold this short. So that's not the right place to be in right now for these EV spaces as they just keep on taking it out. But we've made profits on Lucid, but yeah, if it takes out this 45, those profits won't be there anymore. What's up, Brendo?
We were talking about some Chinese strength. Here's another one, JD.com. It was Kathy Wood as well. ARC selling a bunch of JD, of course. And then it does this, 71 to 74 yesterday, guys. So 6.5% today.
I'm not going to, I mean, I feel like I read a certain somebody was like, don't invest in any Chinese names. And they were singling out Neo. You know who you are, Jimmy. But look, JD had been, and I want to say had because it's not necessarily always true. The Charlie Munger bounce was real on Alibaba. But before that, JD had been performing a lot better than Charlie. I'm just going to pull this one up because as there's exuberance in the long positions, you know, the NASDAQ, okay, we got green, about 0.25% here. Just watch out, like you're getting close, and this was doing really well, holding over the 200 and of course the 50. You are getting very, very close to a cross. You guys know that's a little bit of a death cross. I think as it gets back into that 76, 77 area, you have a decent chance that if we reject off that level, you can start to form that cross. So JD technically is getting to some levels here that could definitely affirm the downside trend here. Like I said, we're working in some of these small cap shorts. Whoops, it's BCRX, Neil. BCRX. That worked at least, well, I got out of 2/3 of the position here. Oh, I'm telling you, man, you get it wrong one time. Yeah, so we got out of 2/3 of the position, and that's BCTX. 2/3 of the position, it's now retesting that $16 level. There we go, finally got it right. I'm waiting for it to curl again. So last time I got in after it rejected 16, I don't mind adding to this off that 16 level if it doesn't break, but I wanted to turn at a price shy of that 16. So last time it was a consolidation lower at 1580. This time, if it rejects at 90, let's say, I'd probably get 80 to 85 short, something along those lines. Like wait for it to come back up here, not break 16 even, and then jump back into that trade. On the other end here, there's that other small cap, well, I don't know what you call it. TSRI, that just capitulated big time. So we'll do the Superman action. Hopefully Miss V is still continuing to get better. I know she's on the chat monitoring, but that just fell like a raw capitulation candle, getting me out at 11 even. That's a target entry. This was not me holding off the capitulation from the top. This was actually taking a tight stop breakdown at 1250. So when I take a tight stop trade, it means get out for what I think is conservative profit. It could easily go back to $10 or maybe even $8.60 where it closed yesterday, but I'd rather make sure we get the guaranteed win. The other one I'm in here, Pets. It's a short till it's not, right? Like it broke the low, and once it couldn't hold the low, I tried longing this for its little dead cat bounce. It couldn't do it. It just continues to fall. I know it's only down 1%, but you have to see what it did yesterday. And once it took out that floor, I just wanted to start scalping it in the other direction.
Yeah. Rivian still going higher here. I mean, I don't know where to stop that one from going. Ford does have a nice bottom here in the 30s, so that's maybe something to look at there for that name. We're just going to hold out hope that our Lucid trade brings us back into the prosperity here as we've been shorting Rivian and getting killed on that position, as now, of course, Rivian comes right back in off that. Maybe we're just going to short this one last. We tried it right there and got stopped out at 86, of course, because that's where it goes to and punches us out before dropping $1 $1 and change. But right now, oh yeah, now you get spanked. Okay, but the market's trying to get down to the downside now as well. So maybe we'll have to have a look here. I'm still going to hold out to this Palantir. We don't have a whole hell of a lot of this left, but some nice upside moves just in case this market does. I can't believe Rivian just turned around there. Yeah, really nice to see Palantir still holding out. And we have this trade on right now. A good trade here for Lucid. Again, let's put something else on the bid. Just capture some profit here if it does continue to fall back down. I just put a 91 bid. Who knows where we go on Lucid, but hopefully we get that fill. Damn it, we just got stopped out on Rivian. That sucks to the upside there. Damn it, what's up, Brendo?
DoorDash, guys, another Miss Wood name. Dash back to the upside, 6% on the day. I saw ARC fly by as well on volume today. Having a nice day. Get your Girl Scout cookies this year through DoorDash on the app. So interesting day for them.
I'll get excited about. They changed the recipe on those. I don't know if anyone's actually had Girl Guide cookies in the last couple of years. The chocolate's still okay, but the vanilla doesn't really taste the same. If you know me, you know that I love cookies. I love pastries. So I'm a little bit picky when it comes to that kind of a thing. And you don't mess with a winning formula, but I don't know why I'm crapping on Girl Guide cookies, but Brendan brought it up, so I got to talk about it. BCRX, I got the reload in front of 16. I'm short now at 15.89. 16 is still a stop. I'm probably going to go back to the well on Rivian. I was going to wait for 89, but you can see it put a capitulation candle in 86, which puts the 85 level back into play here off this 86. So if we get any kind of a consolidation sideways, I think there's a playable trade there. Once again on Rivian. The other name we had on our watch list was Nikola. We haven't really talked about it. It did bounce in front of that 975, but look, you missed a long entry. I missed that one, and I missed AMD for the long entries, and that was the only level of support it had. And once it bounced down and held it, I'm not chasing Nikola, never. It's just not happening. But Nikola now back through that 1050. This also looks like it's headed back to the downside. The market falls back to lows, and you want to pick on something that you can feel pretty confident might make a bit of a reversal. Speaking of that, I have not talked about them yet here today, but guess what is right back at $80 and pulling back off its current high, and that's going to be Affirm. You can see the tight cluster of trading that's been pretty successful in this range. I did have some trades off of 80 before, but the best shorts have been right around here, 82 to 83, and then back up at 85. Trying it on the lower end of the range worked on the way down. So as it gets to the top side, the only reason I'm not in Affirm right now off of 80 is all the real success is when it is spiked a little bit higher into 83. So that's a name which has been probably beaten up enough that you don't want to go to the well too many times. I know it's been like 4 or 5 days in a row that I traded it, but today, not feeling like one of those days for me on Affirm, and then just jumping back. I know a lot of people are looking at that TLO. It's now starting, like, unless you have direct market access and you're scalping this thing back and forth, you really, you have to make like 1 or 2 cents on this trade. It is still trending to the downside. It hasn't really caught a bid, but it is totally a spread capture, and I guess maybe rebate game at this point, sort of falling asleep on us here.
Yeah, shout out to Brendo here because he brought BarkBox and I trash talked it, and it's only because I don't like the stock, because this is one of those ones that I'm in that's basically at its all-time lows again. But you brought that to us around that $4 mark. It did get faded. I remember it was basically $4 exactly, and then it comes faded back into $3.90. Takes that. I mean, I should have kept this on the watch there. Takes out that $4 again, and then to the upside. So this little spot right there. So when you look at something that's hitting a key level, retraces back off, and then bottoms out like that, it's that next break of that key level that gets you, the cheddar right there on the upside up to 425. So a good play there. We did finally, whatever. We're 50 cents of the money on a reload on Rivian. Let's see if it can break down here, and then maybe 83 for a level here on RIVN. Something to look at. We're 70 cents in the money as well on Lucid, but again, that's just bounced around here a couple times. Lucid's a nice stock for us today. All these shorts and all these outs. So let's see if it continues to fall down. I don't know. It's been a monster day for Lucid today. Just should have gone long Roblox as well through 88. And it's Apple and Softy keeping this market down. If they can turn, the market's green now, but if they can turn to the upside, watch some of these names start to fall back in right now. So, all right, Brendan over there at the big screen, small cap recap. Let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, a few to discuss this morning that we're moving around here in the pre-market. We mentioned this right before the open. BDTX could have been short against 525, could have been short against 550. Above that, there was 575 that we talked about just before the open as well. But grinding its way back to the downside for BDTX. TSRI, that's what I did with it. Under 1 million shares on the float. No chance I was going to be long, or no chance I was going to be short. It retook 12. And it also retook VWAP at the same time on decent volume. So that was enough for me to take the long up to day highs, took it out, moved on, didn't look at it after that. SBEV, not really doing much. Again, volume kind of drying up on this, but 192 at the top there. It doesn't come anywhere close to that. Again, got back above VWAP, so I got out. And now we're, of course, at day lows. But yeah, kind of stuck in a range for SBEV. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, that was definitely, SBEV was a missed opportunity for me. I just got out of that CRX. That's why, because I mistyped it on my quote board. Someone asked me, what's that screen that I kind of show every now and then. I have a quote board up, and when I do this, like, let me just save that change here. So we can have BCRX correct. Like sometimes when our charts don't work, it's like you're clicking really fast and changing them, but I can actually just click on the symbol on my quote board and it automatically changes my 1 minute. That's me getting stopped out at 16 when I just reloaded in front of that 16 level. And then it automatically changes, my level 2 goes to BCRX and my daily chart goes to the BCRX in my 15 minutes. So I should probably only ever flip symbols that way. Typing it in is when I run into some trouble because you type it wrong and then you try to change it before it's loaded up and then you get into some trouble. So 16 on BCRX starting to go. For now, it still has an opportunity to be a failed break where it's a slam back down. I think it's still got some resistance at that price. I'm willing to be patient, sort of holding out on it just to make a decision on it in the next couple of minutes. But it's already been a pretty decent name for me here, and I want to make sure that continues. Intel, which fell off the open, which I was looking for that for the curl trade. Of course, got caught up in all these small cap stocks. Now has bounced off the bottom. It's back above that 55 level. So that resistance didn't last very long. It could turn back into some support. I'll check back in. If this dips back down to 55, could be a scalp trade on Intel. Possibly in the future. I already talked about TLO. The big miss for me is going to probably be AMD. Whoops, I'm still on the cancel that bid down at 132. It double bottomed here at 131.50, and the second time it reclaimed 132 and dipped down and held that bit above. That was your entry point. I didn't get it, so I can't cry over spilt milk on AMD. It just is what it is at this point. I don't think it has harsh resistance until it gets to 137.50, so could still be in a bit of upward trend. Right now, it's Rivian that is the big mover that I've traded multiple times here. Now I'm looking to see if it can break and hold above 85, which it's trying to do, still in that top end range of $1. If it gets through that, it is 89 here up at the top. You can see that level is standing out and screaming for the next point of resistance. And I'll come back to pets in just a little bit because the last time I wanted to talk about and we haven't gotten to was that, well, in a bit, is that Huddy. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. It did finally stabilize and catch a bottom. It's back through $10. It's now done 1.4 million shares. I'm not saying it's safe to trade, but it's obviously a little bit safer now that it actually managed to be open for 5 or 6 minutes before halting, as opposed to auto halting in just 1 minute flat. Looks like it's trying to catch itself a bit, but after an up halt, sometimes they go screaming. The fact that it can't even manage to break out again might still be a bit of a short. But HUDI, be careful, cautious trading it. For the first time, it looks like I might be interested though.
Yeah, we did talk a little bit about, HUDI, another name, and then here's another one, AMC. We talked about that yesterday, and trying to wait for this 2150 area because we noticed yesterday that was a lot of consolidation down here and finding some support even in the crazy movements that the NASDAQ was having. We were still, and just the whole market in general, after a nice rebound in the afternoon, you can see AMC definitely participated in the rebound as well. So this was a name that we had on our board that we really liked today, and we just wrote down that same 2150 level. Unfortunately, it only goes down to 22 and then pops right back up nice to the upside. So great call there for anybody that was sort of holding those AMC shares and noticed the same thing on this 2150 level. So I'm hoping that it can come, for you guys, I want it to go up, but for me, I'm hoping that it comes back in and we can take some shares down there. Thank you so much again, Nabil, for your nice comments there. I'm a little bit upset because we miss that DraftKings trade at the bottom by literally literally 0 cents. We were waiting at 25.10, but I was on a paid gateway. And it just should have been, whatever, I missed it by like 2 cents. If I was at 12, I would have got it. But there it is. The call on the sticky note right here from today was 25 longs there on DraftKings, and that we completely, if you read here, we changed our idea. We've been trying to go short on DraftKings, but we noticed that there's support on 25 and that we did like it. NEO's been a good long. Ford to 23.50, we'll have another look at that. And then Rivian, wow, I mean, that 82.50 just hasn't held. We're back in the name now, short in the money, 40 cents or so, but whatever. Rivian's been an absolute disaster for us. But Lucid's been the cake for me today for sure, all the way back down to the downside now. We are bidding again 43, well, not again. Well, we've got out a decent amount there, but we still have a decent spot on as well. We're bidding 43.60. I probably shouldn't have said that, so now it's going to stop right here, but just stops at 65. We'll see if it comes to the downside right now. Taking $1, we're 80 cents in the money now on Lucid, so good trade for me, but hey, still need it to come back down. And I think we can test VWAP. That's where we're trying to get out at 43.60. We waited a little bit too early there. Oh man, what a killer there. Picking the spots today off by a couple pennies. We missed that one by 5 cents, but hopefully it comes back to the downside, and that's another name that we're liking. Oh yeah. How about Peloton? We've been talking about that for a while now. This is a nice name, man, up that 6%. Maybe, hey, maybe Nike, maybe Apple, maybe they're listening, man, because I think Peloton needs to get bought out. So we'll see where it goes from here. Peloton, a nice move up 5% today into a negative NASDAQ. Hey, we'll take that.
And that hoodie opens back up to the upside temporarily. Just got to $14 and is retesting the last halt price. So this is a halt after it actually stayed open for a while. So a bit of a more interesting level here. You write off these levels when it opens up and can't actually stay open for more than 1 minute. You kind of ignore those, and until it starts to consolidate, then I care a little bit more. So 1166, it looks like, is that first key level in the top here at 14 even. I think you play off both those. If it breaks the bottom, I just paid for shorts on this. If it breaks and starts holding an offer below that, it looks like a 67 random price. I think it's going to get pretty interesting down here on that HUDI. Trade it with caution, please. I think obviously that's going to be a crazy, crazy one there. And again, Rivian just takes out the high. So I just tried it short at 85.50. It then took out the high once again at 86. So in and out. You know, I might get, like I said, I should have just given up on it until 89 even. I think HUDI is going to be a little bit more interesting, especially if after halting down like 5 or 6 times, it can't manage to hold any kind of an up halt. You know, I'm going to try it here, sort of in front of, like, just on the break. It just actually broke that 1165, and then the top of the range here is about 12 even. I'll try it with a tight stop, and I can add to it if it breaks like 1150 down, but we'll see. It has a bit of a 20 to 30 cent spread, so you have to give it a little bit of room on either end of this side, end of this trade on HUDI, and then we'll see BDTX. There's another one, sorry. BDTX is going to do one of these. So we sit there fishing on BDTX, trying to get more shares up at VWAP. It never even tries to give it to us, but continues its flush. I just got filled at 480. My last leg here will be at 450. So this stock closed at 450 yesterday. So I will definitely be trying to get out of all of these, or the last of my shares here at that 450 level. But once you're in something like an HUDI, it's gonna get my attention a bit more. Like, it's halted so many times here today that I don't want to be initiating too many new positions while I'm trying to trade this. If it breaks out of the bottom end of this range, I want to be sort of running to the hills and then waiting for a test at 14 even. And if it breaks 14, honestly, I'm not even sure where resistance would be. HUDI down 55%, but finally looking like it's a tradable name.
Right, Huddy, yeah, we just reloaded on Rivian to the downside there as Rivian actually starts to go back up and takes out that $86. Look at this. Look at all these shorts, man. Rivian today just getting clocked out there. Okay, so Lucid trying to battle back. We mentioned getting out a little bit there. That's going to be a good trade for us on Lucid no matter what does happen. Alibaba still with the moves to the upside. Wow. Alibaba today up to 133.60. BABA coming through strong today as Chinese equity just all the way to the upside. Brendan bought us Pinduoduo. Let's see if he's got another one for us. What's up, Brendo?
There we go. Nikola, guys, back to the upside here. 4.5% off VWAP there. Some volume came back in. Remember, another 50 trucks ordered for Nikola today.
Another 50 trucks.
Another top on Nikola. So it's getting like, that was another stock I was looking to short, and you can see I'm basically favoring that side. And the market's starting to roll a little bit here. I see people talking about Alibaba, but HUDI, and like I just said, it's not that, like, I'm not going to sit there ignoring other things, but This one, if it holds here, that halt price, I do think it has a chance to really break out again and retest 14 even. So I am short in this cluster at the bottom at 1164. And because this has every chance to get to $14, and that wouldn't even be that much of a breakout, that's $2.50 on this trade. So I'm kind of keeping it tight to the vest. I'm looking for an entry to add more to this if it starts to break down again and probably cover in front of this 10. The halt bottom at 10, opened up essentially at $10, and then halted upside, and then held on a downside move at $10 a third time. So you have like a triple bottom here on Huddy at that 10 level, which I do think you've got to cover in front of. Might even be a long if it gets down there. I just wish I was watching it on that, I guess, 7th halt or whatever you want to call it, down at $10. That was obviously a decent long.
Huddy, yeah, Kid Cudi Huddy. Okay, so trying to find some new names here. Yeah, we're going to get off. I mean, now Rivian, of course, is coming back, but what else is new on that one as we get stopped out on Rivian for the last time, I hope, anyways. We'll see if we get back in. Who knows if I do or not. But now it's like right back down. Like, see, this is the thing. Like, we just got stopped out, and look, it stopped out through 86. This comes right back down to 85 and change. Let me just make sure none of my bids actually get filled here on Rivian, as that's just been a disaster. Tesla back up to the upside right now as well, up only 0.6, but testing out some of these highs near 1075. I mean, now it's coming back down. You see the market spitting, so that's good for us, man, as that's what we're waiting for. So Lucid, yes, sir, coming back in. So good name here. Hopefully that'll print for us down to the downside now, as that's a name that we're looking for. We're looking to get into some AMC maybe as well. DraftKings still high. Beyond Meat trying to test out some new levels as well here. BYND up to $68 today and trying to make some moves here. Come on, let's load up. Yeah, there it is. So BYND up to 68, now fading down a little bit here as the market's starting to come down. I guess we're going to get Jay Powell. He's talking right now. So that could obviously affect some of these names.
Of course.
Want to buy high quality names, right? Microsoft, things like that into this movement. But you could see Microsoft today barcoding. Let's check out another high quality name. What's AMD doing for us today? 134. So AMD, yeah, okay. So AMD holding out some of the highs right now. So this looks like a good little spot. But I am nervous, like we mentioned, with Powell on the ones and twos back there. Who knows what he's going to say? So we're going to be very, very careful with Jerome Powell and what he's saying. But I'm just going to watch out for this Lucid trade as it's coming back to the downside. Maybe time to get out another piece.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he just turned the markets there a little bit. So Rivian just went back to 84.50. It is what it is, man. I take paper cuts, but it's going to start to come back. Affirm just turned around off 82. This could now, you get a market turn on Jerome. I'm going to like some of the levels that we just turned at. So I'm now looking at that 80. Well, it's more like 81.80 on Affirm as opposed to 82. So that's actually actionable at around 81.25 to 81.30, because then you're only risking about 50 cents or so. But yeah, we're starting to come back in here. I still have that hoodie. And of course, Nikola, which Brendan just mentioned at the high, it broke that 1050 and it's grinding back to the downside. So you're getting a lot of these EV names really start to flush. I'm kicking myself because now Rivian's at 84. I just tried it in front of 86 for like the 7th time. And now it finally goes. So you can't fight them forever, but certainly that one might have been worth fighting the good fight for just a little bit longer. Affirm's probably the one I'm going to have to watch. It's a little bit tighter to that top and maybe still an opportunity to get into it. As the market starts to come back down there, however, notice that's not really affecting AMD too much. Still a good $3.50 from that high. If this holds up, like if the market can turn after this this little chat or the Q&A, I guess it's what's happening by Powell. If it can hold at least, maybe if it holds at 35, that'd be great. But if it holds VWAP on AMD, that will be a strong sign. That's what you want to watch out for. It's at that time of the day. We have 25 minutes for our show, but you're past the opening rush. Now you don't want to be forcing things. Like I've missed that turn on Rivian. I'm trying to catch a turn on Huddy. We'll see if that actually works out for us. And there might be still a shot at a firm there. Otherwise, let's let things settle down a little bit as they react to what's obviously going on with our Fed chairman. Not ours. We're not American, but.
Yeah. I was looking at Block, trying to find some names here. And yeah, Rivian, you want to talk about getting out too early. I was short, 5 times up here and getting stopped out on every break. When here it comes right back down, probably would be a profitable name. That's fine. Like we said, we're not going to cry over spilled milk because we have an equally profitable position on Lucid here, and it was just Rivian that really got us there. Palantir, we knew that in this kind of a talk that if Jerome Powell were to send this thing down, we just held on to a little piece for this. We were out. It's still 10% what we're holding, so it's still not nice as it's coming back in. But that was kind of, I don't want to say the writing's on the wall, but we sort of thought that when he was going to come on, he's been nothing but hawkish, so I don't expect any difference there. And look at Softy starting to turn back around as well, and these big caps just keep getting hit. So that would have been a good short off that VWAP. So maybe we got to find something else. I was debating actually just going short on AMD if it does break through this 134 area right there. This could be a short. You could see here in AMD. Again, you're going to always feel bad that you're not short the bottom, but again, if this talk doesn't get much better, which I don't know if it's going to, we could see another retracement back down. I mean, AMD was only at 131 this pre-market. And then yesterday we saw the bottom. We talked about this 125. So there is movements to the downside that is possible here for an AMD, but we're just going to watch the NASDAQ. As that moves, that's sort of the key for me. So we'll watch to see that one. If it continues to make a move down and we can short this 134, I don't think that's a horrible spot there. Good out a little bit anyways there on Lucid as it just keeps on finding bottoms and then ripping back up. So VWAP's there at 43.50, good out for us at 70. Now it's heading back to the north side here. So let's watch out. Maybe let's go long on Palantir. Hey, maybe he's not saying that many bad things after all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Obviously, we're not following. If anything comes crazy, of course, Brendan's going to get it to us. BCRX, if it gets back, it is back below $16. So I guess if it holds the consolidation below, I'll consider that a failed break. And this is the thing, for shorting counter trend, which I do often, you might be able to tell, you're always going to take your out. Make sure you have a stop. I'm not holding the position through to see if it's a failed break. I'm going to get out and try to get back in if it is a failed break. I think that's the approach I like. I got out of Huddy. It just didn't feel like, and again, I actually ended up tightening the stop just a little bit because the spread was starting to open up. It didn't feel like it was the right idea to be just short in the consolidation like this and just sitting there, waiting for it to move and then reacting to a move, like either a failure at 14, like the halt high here. I guess the reopen high might be a safer trade, and then you can use 14 as your stop, or maybe allowing it to break down and actually get into the lower end of this range closer to 11 before jumping in. That just feels like the better way to go. Similarly to Pets, you see me get out of that one on a tight stop as well. Probably the wrong decision. I could have given it to VWAP, but 77, just to show you guys, 77 was the pre-market low. And when I reloaded in front of it, as I will do often in penny stocks or very, very cheap names, you're long in front of a size or a very specific price, and then you're just trying to scalp it. So that's why the relatively tight stop. I liked the long for dead cat bounce. It now seems like it is continuously just, again, a short trade on Pets. I know it's up 1%, but that stock got woodshedded yesterday. Tried to catch a bid here, but you can see the bottom was down at 72. That could still be a weak one. Alibaba is another name. We talked about JD.com already, which is making a run. Alibaba also getting its Munger bounce and bouncing to the top. Double top, also 50 period, and 134 right now on Alibaba. All those things are currently happening. I'm sure JD's at interesting levels. I don't know if they're as interesting as what Alibaba is sitting at right here in front of that 134. You get the 50 period, you got a double top on the 15-minute chart. I mean, if it breaks out, that's interesting. As Randy is measuring stuff next to us.
Good job, bro. Randy. So Carpenter and
he does it all.
He does it all. So by trade. So good job there. Randy, thank you so much for that one. Randy built this desk, so I guess he's trying to build another one, which is what I'm assuming for Trader Prad and Miss V. And we're getting ready to rock and roll with them very, very soon, guys. I'm just going to check the calendar here to see if we do have Justin coming on board. I'm going to check right now to see. It does not look like we have. Oh no, we do have it. 10:45. Okay. So Justin coming up in 5 minutes. That should be a good one for us today. We'll see what Justin's talking about. Palantir bounces pretty nicely there off of these 1670 areas. So I don't know. I'm debating getting this out on a reload back upside. So the thing about it is, normally I'd get out. I'd get out of this Lucid right now. We've seen it bounce around a couple times. I'm just I don't know if Powell is right now, I almost feel like this market was going to head down at some point. He's not going to say some nice things here and just keep on with his rhetoric and not, I mean, they've already shown their hand and I don't think they're going to change it. So I don't know, man. I kind of want to play the short. I got to find some more names here. So I think on that note, probably worth getting a little piece out on Palantir as we have bounced back up to this area. So let's get out of Palantir. I feel like this market may crash now. I'm like, want to throw up about Rivian. I lost more on Rivian than I have on any stock in the last 2 months, and now it's below where we started to short all these. So it's absolutely insane that I'm down on this stock, but hey man, you take a shot and a shot's fired and missed. Should have just held on to that. Let's get out of Palantir here in case we're right. I just, I know we've given up 50 cents to the upside here, but I just nervous that this market is going to continue to turn to the downside right now. So let's wait to see what happens with the NASDAQ, but I'm going to exit out of this Palantir. And then if the market keeps falling, we already have Rivian on board with a sweet, sweet dollar winner right now. So let's get out of Palantir. As I say that, it just keeps falling. So let's get out of Palantir here. I think we're going to be right about this market.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Alibaba now back below that 134 price. So we showed you on the daily trade, there's multiple reasons to like that level. And now that it tries to get back below, I'm going to see if I can't get in here. Oh, don't chase it too far. Don't chase it. Want to make sure we get something closer to the quarters. There we go. 133.80. And I don't know, I'm sort of speaking to myself and to you guys there. When it flushes back, not really a flush, but when it pulls back down below that 134 after attempting the failed break, a second time here, I don't want, if it capitulates all the way to 133.50, that's not the price I want. I want something in that middle, 133.75, 130, 80 to 85, somewhere in that range. And again, the reason for Alibaba and not something else, I was looking at a lot of different names, but Alibaba just came across. It was that 50 period. You also have the ability to look at a double top there. If I look at that hump that it made the last time it tested that price, this is 132.25. That gives you an obvious sort of price target that's just sitting out there for you. So I'll definitely have a bid out in front of that particular price as we send you to Brendan. Heat map time. Let's see what's going on in individual sectors.
Nah, nothing's going on.
Yeah, not much. Let's have a look. S&P guys down 0.5%. We'll call it 0.57 right now. Pretty red once again, right across the entire board here. There is some strength though coming from the healthcare group. If you remember yesterday, a few individual names popped up pretty strong right in the morning here. ILMN positive news today. I mean, it's a $300, $400 stock, but 9% to the upside. CRL as well, 5.5 to the upside. Moderna was up about 4% yesterday. Or maybe more, actually, down 4.4% today. Biogen here, 1.6%. Some of the healthcare equipment makers also back in positive territory, helping to offset some weakness. But overall, yeah, we are pretty flat for this group. LVS and Win, both notably strong today. Remember, it was LVS with the upgrade this morning, but Win dragging along with it, 3.2%. MGM is here as well. There's Gap, GPS, 1% back in positive territory. eBay as well standing out as a little bit strong. Everything else pretty much on this group outside of energy stocks down there to the downside. Tech stocks are leading. PayPal, interestingly enough, 2.4% to the upside. AMD strong on the day as well, back 2.3% in positive territory. But the tech group is weak. Industrials are weak, as I mentioned. Energy getting a bounce today, about 1.8 for oil right now. So all of these getting dragged along with it. Good to see. Overall, though, 0.6, as we said, for the S&P guys in negative territory.
There you go. And Alibaba on the turn there. I wanted to add to it. I actually still have an offer in, and I probably will. But first target 133. Then you have it is VWAP. But remember, I just showed you on the 15-minute chart 132.25 also happens to be VWAP. So that's going to be the pullback target. So BABA looks like it's going to work out. Market turning a little bit. Powell, look, man, inflation's still a bit of a thing here. The 10-year actually got close to that 1.8 side. And he's not one of the lines that he said, supply side constraints still persistent, not seeing much progress on that. So if we're still seeing some issues there, yeah, I mean, Tal, that's not necessarily a good thing for the overall market sentiment there if we're still having those supply issues. There were some signs that was abating in the last few weeks here. And if the Fed still thinks that that's going to be an issue, not necessarily the strongest thing he could comment on in the overall market. Alibaba is the only new position for me. I am still watching that hoodie. If it moved, I would have talked about it. But instead, I think, was that a call for Brendan?
Or this just in, as Robbie just said. I like that. Justin Kozach back for his daily chat as on what is kind of interesting today. So a few headlines to discuss today, including TELUS Health. There he is. Good to see you, Justin. Welcome back. At Trader TV Justin, guys, go follow him on Twitter. Tell him all the things you want to know on a daily basis, and he'll do your homework for you. There, I hope that's not overstepping a little bit, Justin. I know you're a busy guy, but we'll throw that out there. Tell us about TELUS Health.
Sure. So TELUS looking to get into the pharmacy game. Actually, they're already getting into the pharmacy game. They are launching a virtual pharmacy that allows Canadians to set up reminders, to have prescriptions refilled and shipped directly to your door, which is perfect for lazy people like me who don't want to go outside when it's minus 20 or seem to always forget their prescriptions, like the ones I need to go get that I filled last week that I forgot about. So users will also be allowed to have unlimited video and phone consultations with licensed pharmacists and be able to manage their medications through a free app that is available on iOS and Android. Do a search for TELUS Health. You'll pull that up. Services available in English in all provinces except for Quebec, and a French version is coming in the coming months. So to my friends in Quebec, je suis désolé. But it looks awesome. I mean, for me, this is great because then I don't have to really go take a bus and a subway to the pharmacy. I can just have it shipped directly to my house. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was wondering when I saw that headline this morning, Justin, is this, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first of this kind in this country?
So Shoppers kind of has something where you can refill through a mobile app, but there's, as far as I know, there's no delivery. You get text message notifications when your prescription is ready to be picked up. But I don't think that anyone is, as far as I can see, I don't think anyone is really doing it to this extent. This whole trend of digital health or e-health is sort of a new space. I see a lot of ads for mobile apps where you can talk to a therapist and have conversations and do that sort of thing. But a full end-to-end virtual pharmacy, I think that's a relatively new thing in Canada, and good on TELUS for doing this too. I mean, they already have a pretty big user base, so this kind of makes sense for them to move, or create a platform or create a service that's based on their platform that can be accessible by anyone, whether or not you're a TELUS customer. So smart move on their part.
It's an interesting
shop.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, who wants to go to a pharmacy these days with social distancing and so on? So this is a good way to hang around at home in your shorts and your T-shirt and just get your prescription sent that way. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Minus 30 outside, shorts and a T-shirt kind of day around here. So far, definitely needed is the point, obviously, in this country. Tencent getting into the VR game.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one. This is kind of it's more rumor and conjecture than it is anything but Tencent looking to acquire Black Shark and their mobile division. They're looking to create VR content for some of their portable gaming devices. For those of you that are not familiar with Black Shark, they are a Chinese holding company that specializes in the creation of games and a variety of digital content. They own WeChat. And also Qzone, which apparently is the largest and most popular social network in China. So Tencent just on an absolute tear, just trying to acquire anybody and everything and their dog. So I think this is kind of cool. I mean, I think before the break, we were talking, Neil, Sean, and I, we were talking about the metaverse and how that all goes. So this is just another extension of that. So everybody just trying to get into this VR space and distract us from everything else that's going on. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, huge company, obviously, another addition to Tencent. So we'll keep an eye on that. We mentioned this NVIDIA card, high-end, would you call it, NVIDIA card, but kind of affordable at the same time, is now available.
Right. So, and NVIDIA just, it's another day, another new video card announcement by NVIDIA. This time they are announcing a 12 gigabyte version of the RTX 3080. And I'm a little befuddled by this. I mean, the card is just a slightly improved version of the RTX 3080 with some small tweaks. I'm not I'll be honest, I don't know what NVIDIA is doing. I don't understand these moves that they're making. They're very quiet for a long time, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, here's a whole bunch of video cards." So I'm very, very confused by this sudden flurry of activity. So I'm befuddled by this. But hey, if they can guarantee better stock and better availability and decent pricing, I'm all for it. But I don't know why all of a sudden there's this big pickup. There's clearly something happening in the market right now with video cards. I don't know what it is, but it's fascinating to me and a little concerning.
Is this a pre-metaverse type of move, maybe before some more high-end equipment starts to come out?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some rumors that NVIDIA might be actually releasing their 4000 series cards. AMD is pushing really hard on the 6000 series cards. So this could be them just trying to adjust to the market and trying to retain some of the market share that they have and try to compete with with AMD and so on and so forth. So that's likely all this is. This is probably just them trying to just trying to hold on to some share, but who knows? I mean, it's just very strange that all of a sudden Jensen's like, "Hey, video cards for everyone," but without actually even talking about pricing, which we don't know for this new 3080. So
in this group, maybe for those unaware, in this kind of area or range of cards, what is typical for the pricing?
I mean, what's typical for the pricing? A lot less than what you would normally pay right now. For example, my 3070 and NVIDIA cost me about $800, but now they're going for a lot more than that because it's a supply and demand issue. I've seen cards going for as much as $1,500 to $2,000 to $3,000 for these cards. I'm seeing some figures in the chat here. $1,100 for some. It's the pricing is completely out of whack, and all of this is really being driven by global supply chains, availability of raw materials. There's so many different factors that are playing into this, and really it comes down to the availability of raw materials to make these things. So
still a positive note and a positive day once again for some of the chip makers. Anyways, Justin Kozach, Day Trade the World marketing guy, back with us again. Check him out on Twitter every single day at TraderTV. Justin, thank you, sir. We'll see you again this afternoon.
You betcha.
A few interesting stories, guys, for today.
Absolutely, and thank you to Justin for coming on as always, changing up the gear a little bit. Didn't have the that awesome cardigan, but I'll come back. I just got out of Alibaba, and this one we took just before Justin came on. And again, the reason for this, and look, a lot of things pull back when as the Q&A started there for Fed Chair Powell. It just so happened Alibaba was a 134 double top, and then it was right here at that 50-period moving average. When you get enough signals and you're looking for something to take a trade, you just want those extra points of confirmation and confidence. But I also did look back to what happened the last time, and if we're still in the midst of a bit of a breakout after that Munger bottom, I guess that's what we're calling it, in Alibaba, is that 132.25. You wanted to make sure, if it bounces off that, I wanted to get out. If I'm going to be able to take a trade there on a tight stop, only risking 30, 40 cents or so at the absolute worst, then I'm probably going to be pretty happy when you're starting to get 2 to 3 to 1 and a little bit more than that on the trade. So you just take it out there in Alibaba. Not going to fight it too much. I never got into that hoodie again. I think it was the right decision. Well, obviously, in hindsight, it'll look easy to say it was the right decision to get out in that tight cluster. It's now broken through that 14 level, so it's on the run to the upside. I would be utterly shocked if it got back to this level at $20 where it just fell and halted for the first time. But on the off chance that it does, I would definitely short around $20 if I got a chance at it. I think that goes without saying. It's just another, there's no story here. There's no there. This is just another low-flow Chinese name. Which got bid up and had one of these crazy runs and then is going to give you the capitulation, and that's what we're seeing here, right? So what goes up in this fashion for gamma squeezes tends to get absolutely destroyed on the way back down. That $15 level that it's at right now, there is some significance there. I much prefer up at 20, just feels a little bit safer. But yeah, look, if you, anytime you ever see a stock do this, in the back of your mind, that's why people say take profit, because it can fall just as fast. The rug got pulled on this one today.
Yeah, rug pull on the market the last couple of days, and today it's still trying, but you're still hovering around here on the NASDAQ. We were great call on that short from here. A lot of these names started to go back to the downside. We were able to get out more lucid there on VWAP for another $1.20 or so on that name. So, hey, what's been good on lucid for bad for me on Rivian. And then that Palantir, remember we were trying to get out in the 70s? Yeah, that just kept on falling. So that was a good call. But I'm thinking right now we're getting near a reload position on a lot of these names. So I'm going to take a reload here on Palantir. But right now, over to the big screen with Brendo.
Back moving.
Guys, yeah, we'll check out currency land. Quick look at what is happening today. A little bit of a pullback at the top end here for the US dollar. This is the daily chart, just so you get a context here. Absolute terror for the US dollar over the past couple of weeks. Tight little consolidation, top end of the range here, 0.13 to the downside. Everyone talking about Powell. Q&A is underway. It doesn't seem to be anything coming out of this that we haven't heard already. So there is a little bit of a move, as I said, back to the downside, which has most of everything else back in positive territory. We saw a big move higher yesterday in the Swiss franc, a little bit of a pullback today, back to 92.5. Yeah, Bitcoin's red once again, but only just. And Ethereum was off the highs there a little bit, but holding 3,100, guys.
Yeah.
So,
We bought some
by the way,
Bitcoin.
quickly,
Go ahead.
There's a 250,000 share offer at 133.10 on Alibaba. I don't know if I scroll, if you can see, there it is. Just quickly, you can see it sort of flash there. I know my book's not trailing far enough, but I actually just took it down. Oh, I could have just shorted in front of it. Okay, I'm not gonna, unless that order walks it down, I'm not gonna chase it in front because 133.10 is that key price. You'd want to get 5s in front and then hit it if it happened to go. That's the opportunity cost of quickly showing you guys that I flipped away from it and there was no ability for me to punch short. But yeah, big offer on Alibaba, which is starting to pull that back down with the market there. Just if it goes or that level gets taken out, obviously, that's a good level to use for an out. But with only 3 minutes to go, and these guys have done a lot of work in the past. It looks pretty interesting back there. Random coat hanger sitting by Trader
It looks
Prez.
the same. I think just
No,
cleaner.
it's cleaner. That's what I'm saying. It's
Cleaner, yeah. Well, that's Prad's coat back there. If you see that over my shoulder here on that side, Prad getting ready to rock and roll here. He's going to take you from 11 till 2. We'll be hopefully chiming in and helping out Prad today. As we say, get well to Ms. V. Hopefully back very, very soon on that front. But yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy day. We've been making back money. I mean, ever since we left Rivian. Unfortunately, though, we could talk about this. We were shorting it until we got too much exposure, to be honest with you. And it goes all the way to 86.50 there. We are last day was 86. Noticing some of those wicks, but the same wicks were here at 85 and change. So a nice move to the downside now. Thankfully, we have the dollar plus on Lucid, which helped us make some of that loss back for sure. And then we did reload now, and I don't know if this is going to be a profitable name for us or not today. Well, Palantir is a profitable name. I just mean on this last trade here. We're going to play it off this 1650. I'm just wondering here if Powell, and a little bit lower than 1650, but maybe that move is done down there. But I don't know, man. Palantir's come back a lot for us. So what was an easy trade early has now become one that's a sweat job here. So we'll see. If it doesn't want to come out, that's fine. We'll take a very, very small hit. It's going to be 10 cents on a breakthrough 1650. So that'll be that. And then hopefully if the market does continue to the downside, we'll win more than we lose on our Lucid hold here rather than this Palantir spot. So hey, so far so good, man. One misstep today, and that will be that, man. But I'm really happy. Like, I want to get out of some of these names. Path. Let's get out of that, man. You're up 4 or 5% on that today. TDOC, again, another name up, how much today on TDOC? Up 3% on TDOC. DraftKings giving people an out as well today. So, yeah, if you think that the move maybe is not done to the downside, I'd start to clean out some of these names that are now finally getting a bounce. So that's going to be part of my plan of action here in the afternoon. And, yeah. Good day so far. Let's see what Lucid wants to do as it's now starting to go back up to the upside here, back through 44.
Yeah, and with just under a minute to go, as Sean said, we wish Miss V the best. She's been in the chat doing a fantastic job, of course, as always. You can't keep her away from the show. Give her a break. DWAC now up 10. Well, I just said up 10%, and then it pulls back a little bit, up 9.7%. Just broke through that 60 level. I was looking to try to grab that failed break. You can hardly see that this red candle here, but I hadn't paid for shorts on DWAC, so I went ahead and did that. Probably thankfully so. There was maybe a scalp in there, but overall would have been a loser. Now looking to see if it can come back to like 65 or so, but on the move once again. This name, there's been a lot of stocks that are making these squeeze type plays or big runs, but this is one that's been doing so for the last couple of days. Finally broken back out above that 60 level, so it could be an interesting one. For what we're about to throw to you now is Trader Prad. Obviously, Miss V is there in spirit, looking pretty fresh and clean over there, buddy. There's a lot to trade. Let's send you on over to the midday show.
Thank you. Welcome to the Market Movers. We miss Miss V. Get well, Miss V. I hope you're in the chat. We'll see you around and hanging around in the chat with me. How's everyone doing? Welcome. Hope you guys like this little swag I stole from Sean and Neil. You know, I figured I'd wake up. I wanted to look like them today, so I wore this dress shirt. Stole it from my mom and dad. Well, not my mom, but my dad's dress shirt. Hope you guys like this Neil swag, Sean swag that I got over here. You know, rocking it. Now let's hope that I'm only as good of a trader as they are, because I